I have a Planetary system. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1, The Old Man Selling Things on the Street. Bai Bing is a gaming genius, at least he used to be. During college, he worked with 3 roommates to develop games in his spare time with the help of the college student entrepreneurship fund he applied for. With his love for games, he was really good at it. When he was a senior, he tried it online for free and received praise from most players. He unexpectedly topped the download list. Since ancient times, dark horses have never lacked resources. With the sponsorship of capital, he established a studio, which changed from a team of 4 to more than 10 people. The office was also rented in a fairly prosperous commercial building in the city, of course, only 1 floor. After a year of research and development, Bai Bing's team decided to put the completed game on the shelves on a not very important day. The game went through all the levels, and the joy of success made the 4 team veterans full of longing. However, 1 month after the launch, the pressure of capital followed. Bai Bing's original intention of developing games was to popularize them, advocating down to earth rather than krypton gold. However, capital investment needs to be rewarded. Slowly, Bai Bing realized that the arm cannot twist the thigh. The team elders gradually became discouraged, and after transferring their shares to Bai Bing, they chose to leave their former children. Only Bai Bing struggled to support the team. If the team elders' combined shares did not exceed 50%, Bai Bing would probably have left. In the second year after Bai Bing graduated, with the help of capital, the game had become one of the most popular games in China. In the last meeting Bai Bing attended, the topic of discussion was game export. Such a phenomenal game should go abroad, which would not be bad for Bai Bing. However, what he did not expect was that the person in charge of the discussion abroad was not himself. Bai Bing argued with reason, but he had no resources, and the board of directors was also dissatisfied with Bai Bing's business decision-making direction. The final result was obvious. Bai Bing, who was more sad than the death of his heart, handed over the decision-making power, leaving 40% of the original shares in his hand, to set up a fund management company to generate revenue, and then divided the profits into 4 parts to Bai Bing and his other 3 roommates. At this point, Bai Bing also left his child, and went from a highly profitable game management to a vagrant. Today, Bai Bing was sitting in the coffee shop at the entrance of his community as usual. The waiter brought a cup of coffee and said, "Brother Bing, your coffee." Bai Bing took it politely. The waiter knew that Bai Bing was the owner of this community. When they first met, the people in the store were as polite as they were to other customers. Later, Bai Bing came almost every day and occasionally chatted with the waiters without airs. Later, several waiters in the store were not so restrained. The store manager was a bearded man in his 30s. He sat opposite Bai Bing with a cup of nondescript drink, put down a snack, and chatted with Bai Bing. Bai Bing was also happy to have someone to relieve his boredom. When it was time for dinner, Bai Bing ate dinner in the store and got up to leave. After scanning the code to pay, he walked out of the store and saw an old man setting up a stall not far away. Bai Bing was puzzled. This was novel. It stands to reason that no one would set up a stall near where Bai Bing lived, let alone this old-fashioned stall where people sit on the ground and spread a cloth to set up things. After hesitating for a while, he came to the front of the stall and squatted. "Uncle, what are you selling?" The uncle replied hurriedly, "Young man, these are old things in my family. These things are accumulated by my family. I don't sell them expensively, just to make some living expenses." At this time, the security guard of the community came. "Uncle, I'm sorry, we don't allow stalls here. Please go somewhere else." The uncle was obviously a little at a loss. Bai Bing waved his hand to signal the security guard to wait. "Uncle, how much are these items? Give me a price." Bai Bing saw that the old man's life was not easy and remembered that his grandmother warned him when he was a child that if he met someone in need of help in the future, he should help when he could. Helping others is accumulating virtue, and when he is in trouble in the future, there will always be someone to help him. The old man was overjoyed. "Not expensive, young man. Any of these things you like is fine. 50 yuan each." Bai Bing saw that there were only 7 things on the stall, so he took out 500 yuan from his wallet and handed it to the other party. "Uncle, I want all of them." The old man waved his hands hurriedly. "Too much. Here are 7 items. 350 yuan. I know how to count." Bai Bing didn't act pretentiously and gave him 400 yuan. "The extra 50 yuan is for your stall cloth. Let's go, uncle. Live a long life." The old man looked at Bai Bing, who was leaving, and curled his lips slightly. What a kind child. Back home, Bai Bing took a shower and opened the stall cloth, but he didn't know what he bought. One by one, the objects were placed on the table. Bai Bing was happy to see the things on the table, including a pen holder, a water cup, a signature pen, a pocket watch, an unknown coin, an unknown badge, and the most ridiculous thing was a good-shaped USB flash drive. Bai Bing put the items away and put them in the cabinet in the small room. He only took out the good-shaped USB flash drive. He was really curious about what was inside. Anyway, he was not afraid of viruses. The firewall of his own computer was no joke. He turned on the computer and inserted the USB flash drive. The original computer desktop instantly turned black. Bai Bing was stunned for a moment. What the hell, is it really a virus? Exclamation mark. Before Bai Bing could react, he saw a good with black and white patterns on the black screen from small to large. The stopper at the mouth of the good bottle slowly opened, and then a white light flashed. Bai Bing's consciousness suddenly became blurred, and then he fell asleep. Bai Bing had a dream. In the dream, Bai Bing was in a white space. In addition to Bai Bing, there was also an old man selling things on the street. The old man smiled and said to Bai Bing, "Child, you must keep the things I sell to you well and make good use of them." When Bai Bing woke up, he looked at the black and white goods still displayed on the computer desktop with a faint look, and his mind was full of shock. There were a lot of things in his mind. This good USB flash drive contained the whole world. You can operate it in any way you want. The world in the good does not conflict with reality and can accommodate all living things. Bai Bing clicked the good with the mouse, and a voice came from Bai Bing's ear. "Your name is Bai Bing. No mistake. 1 song, 1 post, 1 content, 1 book, 1 forum, 1619. Bai Bing was startled and looked around. The voice continued, "I'm the good you saw. You can call me black and white." Bai Bing looked at the computer desktop blankly. "How do you know me?" "In the words of your human race, I'm connected to the internet. I can know everything on the internet, including your identity." "Bai Bing, what are you?" "It doesn't matter. What matters is that you need to conquer me." "No, it should be said that you need to conquer all living things in the space." Bai Bing asked, "How should I conquer?" "I can help you in any way you can think of." Bai Bing thought for a while and felt that this good did not look like a bad thing. Then he asked, "Why would you help me?" "Because you are kind, and you and I have a connection." "Destiny?" "Yes." "Then what should I do to conquer everything in your body?" "You just asked this question. I can help you in any way you can." Bai Bing still didn't understand. The black and white good directly sucked Bai Bing into the good. Before he could react, he saw a white light again. After the white light disappeared, Bai Bing saw the most shocking scene in his life. Chapter 2 Black and White Good. In an extremely dense forest, Bai Bing stood in the sky and looked at the ground under his feet. Bai Bing was sure that he was not dreaming, and the scene in front of him was definitely not any place on the blue planet. At this time, the voice of the black and white good came. "What you see is just the tip of the iceberg. There are many creatures you have never seen in this space, including many races, and what you have to do is to conquer them. They are good and bad. You can use your own thinking to judge which method corresponds to which situation and species." Bai Bing thought silently for a while, and finally asked the black and white good, "Can I really use my way?" Black and white good, "Anyway." Bai Bing, "Okay, I know. What if I can't complete it in my lifetime?" Black and white good, "I will seal myself until I meet the next generation, just like I met you." Bai Bing tossed and turned all night and couldn't sleep until the early morning, because of excitement, because of belief, because of dreams. That's right, the way Bai Bing thought of was to achieve it through games, through countless players. Bai Bing got up in the middle of the night and made 3 phone calls, then turned on the video software on his computer and saw 3 sleepy young men facing the screen. Dormitory leader, I say. Fourth brother, why did you wake us up in the middle of the night? Second brother, you'd better give me a reason. I hung up my girlfriend's video, and she'll probably be angry. Third brother, you have so many girlfriends, which one do you want to talk to? Bai Bing, I have something to discuss with you. Dormitory leader, go ahead. The other two didn't say anything either. Fourth brother wouldn't look for them for no reason at this late hour. Bai Bing, I want to sell the fund's shares to cash in. Of course, it's only my own share, but I want to persuade you to sell some together. The second brother, why? Although there are few capable people in the company's current leadership, the profit is considerable. We don't have to be hard on money, right? The head of the dormitory, fourth brother, why do you think so? Bai Bing, because I want to trade some things. If all goes well, their market value will be worthless, and I also need money to put my actions into practice. The third brother, if you really want to sell, please help me sell my share as well. I believe in you. If you have financial difficulties, I can lend you the money I cash out. The head of the dormitory, I have the same opinion as the third brother. What about you? Second brother. The second brother, TSK, I'm the one who doesn't care the most. Anyway, I've made my money back a long time ago, and now I have more money than I can spend in several lifetimes. What's there to be afraid of? Fourth brother, after you sell, leave me some money for picking up girls, and you can do with the rest. Bai Bing, okay, thank you. The second brother, thanks, I won't say anything to you. My girlfriend will be really angry later. Dormitory leader, although I don't know what you are going to do, I can see that you are going to cause trouble. Bai Bing smiled, you will see another world. After exiting the video, Bai Bing made a call. After the call was connected, the other party said, Mr. Bai, do you have any plans so late? Bai Bing, Lawyer Yi, spread the word that all our shares of Miffy will be sold. Lawyer Yi was obviously stunned. Mr. Bai, are you serious? Are you just spreading rumors, or are you really going to sell? Really, all, including the three of them. I have communicated with them. I will send you the contract and documents when the time comes. After repeatedly emphasizing the profitability of Miffy, Bai Bing still insisted on selling it, and Lawyer Yi had no choice but to do it. After hanging up the phone, Bai Bing lay on the chair and thought for a while. Hey Bai, our first step is to use the game to get all the players. Before Bai Bing finished speaking, Hey Bai said, as long as you can think of it, I can help you. I like you more and more. The next morning, Bai Bing received a call from the director of Miffy. Boss Bai, I need an explanation. You don't understand what you mean. I received an announcement from your fund company early in the morning. Are you going to sell all your shares in Miffy? Yes. You are not abiding by industry rules. According to the contract, if you want to sell, you should inform the company in advance. The company will give priority to purchasing your shares. You are right, but the premise is the same price, and I haven't sold it yet. In the end, it will be through bidding. If the price is the same, I will give priority to selling it to Miffy. I hope Boss Bai will keep his word. If Boss Bai is not throwing a smoke bomb and really intends to sell his shares in Miffy, Miffy is also willing to purchase it with full sincerity. After hanging up the phone, Bai Bing received a call from the dormitory head. Fourth brother, the top management of Miffy has contacted me by phone, hoping that I can give priority to them. What do you think? Bai Bing smiled. If their price is the best option, I will sell it without your advice. I see, you are really short of money. Temporarily. Bai Bing said, Hey Bai, can you help me complete all the online operations? Sure. Bai Bing, then you can transfer funds from my fund and my personal balance to start publicity. I want all netizens in China to know that there is a virtual online game world called Planet. Sure. From this moment on, Bai Bing found the direction to realize his dream. This time Bai Bing wants to control the decision-making power in his own hands. Bai Bing believes that as long as Hey Bai is there, if he decides to hide his identity, no one can find out that he is the developer of the game Planet. At the same time, Bai Bing also believes that this real game will definitely crush all virtual online games on the market. After receiving the notice of a sale of 40% of Miffy's shares, the capital began to make big moves. Bai Bing's personal mailbox has been refreshing information. Several friendly cooperation companies have also contacted Bai Bing privately. In fact, Bai Bing wanted to sell it to Miffy's internal staff because he knew that if Planet came out, all game players on the market would drop sharply. It is not Bai Bing's style to cheat his friends. Bai Bing stayed in his room all day and asked Harry Bai to handle the back-end mailbox. Near 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Bai Bing received a notice from Lawyer Yi that the foundation would meet with several sincere acquirers next Monday. Of course, Miffy was among them. He had to say that his foundation was very efficient. Bai Bing, Harry Bai, let's put Planet on the market now and don't stop promoting it. Okay. Chapter 3 Game Trial. U2 is a senior game geek who has money and doesn't have to work. He has spent most of his time playing games at home for several years after graduation, but there are very few games that can catch his eye. A few years ago, a virtual game called Alliance released by Miffy Company made him unable to extricate himself, but the operation of the game later deviated more and more from the track, from the initial civilianization to the Krypton Gold Gamma play, which made U2 very helpless. A good game has become like this. Today, U2 received a mobile phone message. Planet is released, promising a lifetime of no Krypton Gold, and is now on the shelves. No Krypton Gold for life. U2 was stunned for a moment. What the hell? So unique? U2 checked the game online. It was launched today. Since it was not launched on any game platform, there are no comments and ratings, and there is no company information. There is only a simple download link and instructions for use. Enter the game through virtual means, through but not limited to virtual AI glasses, virtual warehouses, etc. Maybe because he was stimulated by the text message of this game, U2 connected the AI glasses and clicked to download and entered the screen with almost no lag. U2 was stunned for a moment. The picture is so real. No lag? How is this possible? The screen turned from black to white and U2 saw a beautiful real world. From the first person perspective, he saw a dozen humans wearing simple clothes, holding short swords, spears, shields and other cold weapons, fighting with several 2-meter tall humanoid monsters. Although the humans had the advantage in numbers, their fighting power was really poor. The monsters killed the humans in the front row in a few moves. If he didn't know that this was a game, U2 would have doubted that this was real. The people, monsters, injured and even fallen humans in front of him were so real. Are you kidding? Is this really a game? Which companies? Why did they make such a big move without saying anything? Before U2 could get too shocked, a middle-aged man covered in wounds appeared in front of U2. The middle-aged man gritted his teeth and said, "You are the hope of our family. We will buy time for you. Run away quickly, escape from this area, and run to the east. That's the nearest safe camp. They won't easily step into the camp over there. Go." As soon as he finished speaking, U2 saw the middle-aged man who was talking to him widened his eyes and then slowly fell down. A hideous monster appeared behind the man, growling, "Don't worry, little guy of the human race, you will die without pain." U2 seemed to have forgotten that this was a game. The real experience made him instinctively turn around and run away, using all his strength. He heard the monster's laughter behind him. What the hell? Am I dreaming? Did I travel through time? No, I want to run, or I will die. A light suddenly appeared in front of him, and the light spot gradually grew larger until it swallowed U2. A slowly rotating black and white god appeared in front of him, and a voice rang in his ears. "Hello players, welcome to Planet. This is a real world game. Before entering the game, please choose your own profession." U2 was so scared that he quit the game directly. Returning to reality, U2 took off his glasses, cold sweat kept falling, and hurriedly opened the game group chat software to send a message. "Oh no, I found a very real game. I was almost scared into a mentally retarded person." Someone in the group replied, "What game? It scared our master you like this. I want to try it. What type?" "Horror." U2 replied, "A game called Planet. To be honest, I don't know the type. I was so scared that I quit the game right after watching the opening CG." The group was in a mess. Bai Bing sat in front of the computer and said to Harry Bai, "Isn't this kind of opening CG too exciting? Some players may not play because they are afraid." "Hey Bai, the opening CGs are all random. Some are in family, some are in life, some are fighting. and some are dead. These CG contents are all real. Bai Bing, let's set up an official website for our game on the internet. The page should be simple, and no advertisements should be accepted. Focus on developing the forum area. Hey Bai, okay. Over the weekend, the game Planet came out. No one knew the development company and development team of this game. They only knew that this game beat all virtual games on the market. In 2 days, the number of players achieved a breakthrough from 0 to 10,000. Bai Bing was drinking coffee in a coffee shop at the entrance of the community, and a spirited middle-aged man was sitting in front of him. Bai Bing signed the documents on the table one by one, and handed them to the middle-aged man. Lawyer Yi, I will not go to the acquisition meeting tomorrow. You are fully responsible. Lawyer Yi put the documents into a bag and nodded. Mr. Bai, your decision has indeed turned the domestic gaming industry upside down. I can sleep well these 2 days. Bai Bing touched the good USB flash drive hanging around his neck, looked out the window and said, then you have to be mentally prepared. There will be more upheavals in the future. Lawyer Yi thought Bai Bing was just comforting himself. He stood up, said something and left. Henny Bai's voice rang in his ears. The number of game players has exceeded 100,000. If you want to sell your shares at a good price, you must hurry up. I have analyzed that the number of players will increase dramatically in the next few days. By then, the stock prices of all game companies in your China will plummet. There is no mistake in the content of the first post. I went to the forum of 629 book and took a look. When Bai Bing returned home and opened the official website forum, it was already in a state of chaos. Everyone lamented the reality and cruelty of the game. Old monk uses shampoo. There are 4 initial professions in the game. I chose the most resistant warrior, but I couldn't beat a monster the size of a child. Can you believe it? Woohoo, you are also a warrior. At the beginning of this game, you are just doing errands. Killing monsters and leveling up is indeed fast, but there is a 100% chance of death. Before, 3 teammates and I encountered a giant python in the wild. I still can't remember how I died. I only saw the system prompt that it was poisoned. The boat will sink when it reaches the bridge. The upstairs is shit. I just adjusted the paint to 100% at the beginning. The first time I went out to the wild, I encountered a crocodile. You can imagine the map by yourself. The warrior upstairs. There are also several excellent analysis posts. One of the posts is titled, a must-see for novice players, the advantages and disadvantages of the 4 initial professions. Bai Bing asked, I don't even know what professions we have in our game. Hey Bai, there are only 4 initial professions, namely warrior, mage, priest, and assassin. Bai Bing, that's enough. After the number of people and levels go up, we will open up professional professions. Chapter 4, Rise of the Game. At noon on Monday, Bai Bing received a call from Lawyer Yi. Lawyer Yi, in the end, only 2 companies accepted the conditions. One is Miffy and the other is Haneda. Bai Bing's request was very simple, with only one clause, that is, no installment payment, and a one-time payment. Although there was only one request, this alone rejected most companies. After all, 40% of Miffy's shares were sky high, and Miffy and Haneda could not afford it. The premise for their acceptance was resource exchange. Bai Bing did not want resources. Miffy finally offered funds in 3 commercial office buildings in the CBD of Huaxia country, one of which was in the city, where Bai Bing was located. After hearing this, he even accepted Miffy's conditions without even hearing Haneda's offer. Miffy and Haneda both touched the game industry. For so many years, the latter has been catching up with the former, but because Bai Bing developed League, Haneda has never caught up. From today, Bai Bing will bid farewell to Miffy, and can officially let go, and boldly operate Planet. Bai Bing, hey Bai, we are starting to focus on the development of Planet. Hey Bai, where to start? Bai Bing, worldview. Now the number of players has reached more than 100,000. Our journey is about to begin. In Planet, because the players are not as good as the initial monsters, most of them choose the life NPC tasks in the main city. Although the experience is less, it is safer. At this time, the majority of players received a system announcement. To the majority of Planet players, because the number of game players exceeds 100,000, the game will be maintained at midnight tomorrow, and the maintenance time will be from midnight to 8 AM. The maintenance content includes 1. Enable player career transfer. The first round of transfer will be enabled after the player level reaches level 20. Each initial career has 2 transfer directions. 2. Enable the level ranking list. 3. Players will not be able to log into the game for 1 hour each time they die. 4. Enable the main quest. Bai Bing did not understand why there is a 1 hour cooldown after death. The answer given by Bai is that, although death in the game will not really kill you, the soul will enter, and the short interval between deaths is easy to cause damage to the human soul. Bai Bing watched the players quarreling in the forum, and the players left messages one after another. Mage's the father. The official finally got down to business. I don't know what to do with the quests these few days after entering the game. If it weren't for the fact that this game is so realistic, I would have given up. The unknown little steel cannon. The above person reported the address, and I, the assassin, disagree. Daily biting nails. I can't understand why I can't log into the game for an hour after death. Why? Is it so willful? Bai Bing quickly read the forum, turned off the computer, and went back to his room to sleep. Unlike Bai Bing's comfort, the senior management of Haneda was furious at this time. The loss of 40 shares of Miffy Delta blow to Haneda. The company's stock price will definitely plummet tomorrow morning. On the contrary, Miffy will definitely hit the daily limit. The target to catch up is getting farther and farther, which makes Haneda very upset. Because of Haneda's failure today, no one in the company's game department dared to leave work on time. Everyone in the department was in a panic. However, Shifei was an outlier. He was now thinking about Planet. After a few days of trial play, Shifei was sure that this game could definitely beat Planet. Now Shifei was thinking about how to convince his manager to take over the operation. The next morning, Planet players entered the game one after another and were surprised to find that their main city had become dilapidated and there were very few NPCs in the city. Suddenly, a page popped up in front of each player. Planet main task. Most of the human race in this area was massacred by the Kra tribe. The human race has been fighting to the death against this invader. Eliminate the Kra tribe and make them disappear from this territory belonging to the human race. Destroying hostile creatures can explode soul value and equipment, and there is a very small chance of exploding special items. Warm reminder, every time a hostile creature is killed, the player's backpack automatically increases the soul value, which can be used for purchase, trading, strengthening weapons and many other aspects. Bai Bing looked at the announcement and asked, what's the use of soul value? Hey Bai, the soul value sold by players to NPCs will eventually improve my abilities. I'm now in a weak state, and my available abilities are very weak. In the inner world of the planet, the NPCs that players think of are simulated creatures set up by Bai, so the sadness and despair they show are also extremely real. Because of the authenticity, when players see their main city destroyed like this, the NPC's sad expression makes the players empathize with them and immediately share the same hatred for the enemy. The NPC knows the strength of the Kra tribe and goes up to stop the player's impulse. However, when they see the simulated NPC who is like their elder, the emotional outpouring makes the players even more unbearable. What are you afraid of? If you die, you can only watch the drama for an hour at most. After an hour, you will be a hero again. At this time, the posts on the forum suddenly became serious from all kinds of things. Some people said that they went out to explore and found traces of the Kra tribe. Some said that they were attacked by the Kra tribe. Some analyzed the weaknesses of the Kra tribe, and some said that they formed a team to kill a Kra tribe and exploded a certain equipment and then posted a screenshot. The players originally hated the Kra tribe, but after knowing that there would be equipment drops after killing them, their hatred instantly turned into appetite. This hostile race is not an enemy. It is a warm gift. Although we cannot defeat them, we players are not afraid of death. Even if there is no equipment drop, the soul value will definitely drop, although it is not used for the time being. Bai Bing said, why do I feel that the number of players is more than 100,000? Hey Bai, today it has exceeded 200,000. No mistakes in one song, one post, one content, 1619, one book, one bar. Bai Bing, it seems that we need to strengthen the cohesion of the players. Hey Bai, open a live broadcast area on our official website. Players can turn on the live broadcast function, and other players can watch through the live broadcast. Each player who applies for the live broadcast function must pay 10 soul points. Watching is free, but you can give rewards. 80% of the soul points given go to the players, and 20% go to us. Hey Bai didn't say anything. Bai Bing asked, "What's wrong?" "Hey Bai, you are really a devil. I can't imagine earning soul points like this." Bai Bing smiled, but didn't say anything. It was a joke. This trick was learned from Miffy, and it was only the soul points in the game. Bai Bing had no psychological pressure to earn it. When the number of players in a game reaches more than 200,000, it is no longer a small fight. It is impossible to keep a low profile. Especially this kind of realism that seems like a second world has made the capital smell the smell, and they have begun to inquire about the company behind Planet, but the result is predictable. Because of the existence of Hey Bai, no party has found Bai Bing. Hey Bai was eerily silent today. It was obvious that he was so happy about receiving the soul points submitted for the live broadcast application that he couldn't help himself for a long time. Bai Bing smiled and said, "Hey Bai, you have to manage the content of the live broadcast well. Any live broadcast that violates the rules will be blocked. Don't pick up sesame seeds and lose watermelons." Hey Bai, I know. It can be seen that Hey Bai's tone has changed. Chapter 5: The Eve of Battle. Yi Jian is a technical player, no matter what game he plays. When he first came into contact with Planet, he knew that this game would definitely be popular. He sold all the game equipment he had played before and devoted himself to Planet. Today, Yi Jian entered the game and applied for live broadcast as usual. Because of the title of Technical Flow, many players know that Yi Jian is a player with strong operation. Yi Jian's game ID is called Jiangxing. The picture of Yi Jian is lying in a bush, and in front of him is a monster of the Kra tribe. This monster is obviously hunting. Players who receive the main task have a basic understanding of the situation of the Kra tribe. This race has racial consciousness and basic wisdom. Adult Kra tribe members are more than 2 meters tall and stand on 2 feet. They are a humanoid race with high attack power and strong defense, but only basic intelligence. The best way to deal with it is to outsmart them. Yi Jian has eliminated 3 Kra tribe members by outsmarting them. The experience feedback from each one is also very high. One of them also exploded a green battle axe, which has much better attributes than blank equipment. Yi Jian is used to using a sword, so he put the battle axe in his backpack and prepared to sell it in exchange for a sword as a weapon. Yi Jian's voice was heard through the live broadcast. "This guy is obviously an adult. We can't beat him in a one-on-one fight, but we can hunt him in other ways. The best way I can think of now is to attract his attention and lead him to the trap I set. I hope he can get some equipment this time." The live broadcast barrage discussed. "Don't be afraid of anything. Just go up and fight. Technical anchor, pay attention. If you can handle this Kara, I will reward you with 10 soul points." After Yi Jian killed this Kara with great effort, something exploded. He said to the live broadcast, "Brothers, I think I exploded something incredible." After that, he displayed the attributes of the exploded thing. Primary soul. It can increase the player's level by 1 level before level 20. A player can only use it once and can be sold. The barrage expressed their willingness to buy it, but Yi Jian was indifferent and used it directly. Yi Jian's level was directly upgraded from level 9 to level 10. This level is already very high for Planet players. After all, most people cannot destroy the Kara tribe. Some can do it in a team, and the experience must be shared equally. There are very few people who can fight alone like Yi Jian. At this time, in the base camp of the Kra tribe, the chief of the Kra tribe, Xinjiang, was very confused. A few days ago, he led his troops to massacre a human city-state, but the number of human beings did not decrease at all, but increased instead. Moreover, this group of human beings were not afraid of him as before, but seemed to be excited when they saw prey. Sometimes, they knew that they would die, but they were not afraid at all. They rushed up and hacked at their own people with random howls. Several leaders of his subordinates had come to him to complain. Xinjiang asked the guards to call a chief. After a while, a 3-meter tall Krala came to the chief's tent. Xinjiang said to the man. Fei, you lead your tribe to massacre the human city-state. I was careless last time and left the old, weak and sick. This time, you completely eliminate them. Fei, okay, then I want half of the spoils this time. Xinjiang nodded. Okay, but they must be completely eliminated. These ants are very annoying. Bai Bing inspected his local CBD today. The 3 properties were transferred very quickly, and the capital could not be paid for a while. The contract stipulated that it should be paid within 1 month. Bai Bing was not in a hurry. Now Bai Bing was considering whether to set up his own company. If he did, he would not have to find an office location. It was indeed willful to have the freedom to have properties. At the gate of Huiyuan building, several people in suits and leather shoes stood. They were obviously logistics and security personnel. The change of ownership of the building had to make the building management staff nervous. Moreover, it was transferred to an individual. Before Bai Bing arrived, they were all speculating who the person was. Hello, Mr. Bai. I'm the property manager of Huiyuan building. My name is Cheng Shi. I welcome Mr. Bai to guide our work. A middle-aged man stepped forward and held Bai Bing's hand enthusiastically. Bai Bing also smiled and said, Director Cheng's name has a good meaning. It seems that our Huiyuan is so well managed, and Director Cheng has made an indelible contribution. Cheng Shi waved his hand hurriedly. Mr. Bai, you are making fun of me. Come, Mr. Bai, I will take you to visit the current situation of our Huiyuan. After that, he led Bai Bing to the elevator. Our Huiyuan building has a total of 28 floors. The first floor is the reception and property office. The second and third floors are the building's built-in cafeteria, and there are 20 floors that have not been rented out, and the rest of the floors have all been rented out. Bai Bing said and asked in the elevator, why isn't the 20th floor rented out? Cheng Shi said, there is no other reason. It's just that the previous tenant chose to move out because of a tight capital chain. Mr. Bai, you know that our Huiyuan's rent is not cheap. It is indeed a considerable burden for ordinary companies. Bai Bing was silent for a moment and then said, don't rent out the 20th floor for the time being. Cheng Shi, Mr. Bai, do you have other arrangements? If a friend can introduce you to me, I can make the connection. Bai Bing, no, I plan to register a company myself, and the office location hasn't been determined yet, so I plan to put it here. Cheng Shi, that's easy. Mr. Bai, do you have any familiar decoration companies and design companies? If not, I can introduce them to you. Bai Bing, please help me contact the decoration company, but not the design company. With Hei Bai hanging around, there is probably nothing difficult for Hei Bai except for jobs that require manpower. At this moment, a black and white voice suddenly came to my ears. There is a situation in Planet. I suggest you find a place where no one is around to communicate as soon as possible. Bai Bing asked Cheng if he had a computer. Cheng took Bai Bing back to his office on the first floor and indicated that his computer could be operated at will. No mistakes. 1 post, 1 content, 1 6, 1 book, 1 bar. After Bai Bing saw Cheng close the door and leave him alone, he opened the official website forum and saw many players' posts about an unorganized and undisciplined Kra tribe pressing into the human race's main city, and they all proposed to form a team to resist. What's going on? A tribe of the Kra tribe in the world of Planet is conquering the human race. It is estimated that there are too many players, and the harassment of the Kra tribe has made them feel pressured. Any suggestions for handling it? It is impossible to seek peace or migrate. The only way is to resist. Although this tribe is stronger than the current players, it has a large player base and can resist. How many players do we have now? Almost 500,000. So many? Game announcement. Dear players, this is a vanguard of the Kra tribe. The Kra tribe has once again raised their butcher knives and is ready to slaughter at will. Fearless human race, this is the clarion call for revenge. Brave and righteous human pioneer players, let them feel the blood and fear. Due to the war, the game has made the following updates. 1. Open the medical NPC. 2. Open the war scoreboard. When the points reach a certain value, they can be exchanged for honor equipment below level 20. 3. If the war fails, the game server will be closed for a week to adjust the difficulty. Hei Bai issued an announcement according to Bai Bing's opinion. There was a moment of silence. Although the honor equipment exchanged in the second point needs to be generated by soul value, it is completely a drop in the bucket compared to the soul value earned in the first point. Normal injuries take a while to recover, but through medical NPCs, injuries can be healed in a short time, which means that soul value is consumed. It is a genius to cut leaks. The most fatal thing is the third point, which makes me, the player, desperate. Chapter 6 Allah. Ferry came to 10 miles outside the human city-state. He couldn't understand how a group of ants dared to resist. Along the way, the troops encountered harassment from players. The chief said that he had slaughtered all the adult combat forces of the city-state. Now it seems that he has taken the credit. But it doesn't matter. They are ants anyway. Let's kill them in one go. At this moment, countless planet players kept informing the Kra tribe of their movements through the world channel. At this time, the number of online players exceeded 400,000, and more players were logging in. There was no way. Planet, the most realistic large-scale game in the minds of players, was about to start the first race battle. The forum was in an uproar. Everyone, pay attention. The devils are already 10 miles away from our doorstep. Act according to the original plan. A player named Ting said it's right was temporarily appointed as the commander-in-chief of this battle because of his excellent eloquence and overall view before the war. Listen to me. It's True sent a message in the world channel saying, all players who have not been assigned special tasks please return to the main city as soon as possible. Don't think about harassing and sending food. Don't make me repeat it again. It takes 10 soul points to speak once in the world channel. I don't have money. Bai Bing laughed when he saw the commander-in-chief say this through the forum live broadcast. Hey, Bai said speechlessly, I really didn't expect that you can collect soul points for this. Bai Bing rolled his eyes. Don't you want soul points? It's useless for me to have that thing. The culprit is you. You blame me. Hey Bai, listen to me. It's right sent a message in the world channel again. When the Japanese arrive at the designated location, the mage will use the freezing skill, 1 second casting time, to form a frost under the target's feet to slow down the opponent's speed and cause a small amount of damage. The warrior group will immediately use the charge skill, cause damage to the target and attract hatred, to start the group, and then use taunt, force the target to attack itself and increase defense, to hold them. Don't let them get close to the mage group. The mage will blast them with a few rounds of fireballs. While the warriors are attracting hatred, a fireball condenses within 2 seconds to cause damage to the target. If the warriors can't stand it, retreat back to the main city immediately. When the mage sees the warrior group retreating, you should retreat immediately too. When the priest sees the injured warrior in the main city, he will use healing a single target, to restore the target's health, to treat him. You don't need to use the tearing skill. A lightning bolt is sent down to cause damage to the target, save some mana and heal more people. Is everything arranged? Commander, have you forgotten something? What doesn't our assassin group have to do? Assassin brothers, you are fragile. Let the brothers and sisters charge for you. You just need to shout 666 from the back. MMP, tell the address upstairs. I will send you some local specialties. What I said is right. Assassin group, stay calm. I will arrange your tasks later. What you need to do now is to restore your status to full. I'm really out of money. Stop making trouble. How poor is our commander? If nothing unexpected happens, you will find that the commander has disappeared in the middle of the battle because he has no soul points to send a message. The poorest commander in history. There is no way. War burns money. Insert a piece of news. The Japanese are 5 miles away from us. What I said is right. It is now 15:16 in the afternoon. The plan will be implemented in 4 minutes, that is, 15:20. All players of the mage group and the warrior group are ready. Remember, 15:20, 15:20, 15:20. Important things are said 3 times. At this time, the original spoof and humorous speeches in the game suddenly became less, and the realistic style of the game made all players feel as if they were really preparing to experience war. At 15:19, almost no one in the world channel spoke nonsense, and some were basically encouraging, "Come on," and other self-comforting sentences. At 15:20, in an instant, except for the mage and warrior players, the world channel was filled with exciting words such as let's eat, action, Yura, etc. The frontline troops of the Kra tribe suddenly found themselves frozen and slightly injured. Feli waved his hand and shouted, "Stay alert on the spot, find the enemy troops, and eliminate them." As soon as the voice fell, a large group of warriors rushed out from the trees, bushes, and rocks from all directions, charging towards the Kra tribe with great momentum. Feli was shocked by the number of enemies in front of him. His entire army was only 50,000, and the frontline troops he led were only 10,000, but the enemies rushing out in front of him had already exceeded all his troops. What the hell? Is this a way to kill all the adult combat forces? What a joke. Although he was distracted for a moment, he was the head of a tribe after all, so he immediately came to his senses and said to the attendant next to him, "Blow the horn and let all the troops behind come up to support." A group of warrior players taunted the enemy as soon as they saw them, and then chopped them randomly without any rules. The momentum was very strong, but the damage was like scraping. There was nothing they could do. The average level was less than level 10. Fei also found that the enemy's attack was not high. Just when he was about to order a counter-attack, countless fireballs were shot from all directions. This time, the fireball attack did not cause low damage to the Kra tribe. The Kra tribe that was hit was injured and exploded into a background. In just 5 minutes, the warrior group of more than 100,000 people also suffered nearly 2,000 casualties under the cover of the magician. Seeing that the rear troops of the Kra tribe were approaching, the human commander who received the news immediately ordered on the world channel, "Warrior group and magic group retreat, priests prepare, you start healing." As soon as the warrior group returns to the main city center, warriors who have red potions on the way should not be reluctant to take them, and mages will immediately restore mana when they return. Those who have mana should use mana, and those who don't have mana should meditate on the spot. After seeing the commander's order, the warriors who were originally in great pain immediately turned around and ran away like a husky that had run away. There was no other way. Although it was a game, the simulation was too high. If they didn't know it was virtual, they would really collapse. This was a naked war. You won't go wrong if you listen to me. Assassins, get ready. Hide in various corners of the main city. As soon as the Japanese enter the village, use poison. Attacking the target can make it bleed continuously, and the bleeding time depends on the opponent's level. When you see the Japanese, use backstab. A successful attack from behind the target can cause twice the damage and increase the movement speed. To stun them, hit them and run away. Don't fight hard. After you run away, hit the Japanese again when you see them, so as to buy time for other players in the center of the main city. Fuck, this is an underground war. The command is quite good. Oh no, my blood is boiling. I have to go for a health check today. There is no mistake in this poem, post, content, and book. Is there anything good to introduce upstairs? Don't your family members feel sorry for us who have passed away? No love at all. Bai Bing looked at the live broadcast and smiled. This commander is something. Hey Bai, I can't bear to take his soul points. Bai Bing smiled and said, "Okay, then you set up a campaign commander title. The campaign commander of each campaign will not charge soul points when speaking in the world channel, and the information sent will be directly transmitted to the player's perspective." Hey Bai, okay. System announcement, a new campaign commander title is created. The commander of each campaign will not charge soul points when speaking in the world channel. Fuck, is it so humane? I'm getting more and more addicted to this game. GM, please pay attention to me. Is the upstairs trying to seduce you? Gambling and drugs are incompatible. Something is wrong with you upstairs. Chapter 7, The Insulted Boiling. At this moment, a string of text suddenly appeared in front of the player. Don't you want soul value? Really? Long live the official. A group of players. Commander, please be serious. We are fighting. This commander is not serious. This is the first time I have seen such a poor commander. The originally serious style of the painting was once again deviated by the commander. The warriors, mages and priests were all joking, but the assassin players were in dire straits at this time. Assassin players basically hid in unexpected places to imitate their predecessors to backstab the devils, but the enemy's blood was too thick, and each backstab could only reduce a little blood. It was completely relying on applying poison to slowly consume blood. Moreover, if you were not careful, you would lose half of your blood if you were slashed by the enemy. You had to hide in the corner secretly to take drugs or meditate to recover. What was even more uncomfortable was that the medical NPC was in the center of the main city. At this time, a string of text appeared in front of all the players again. Players with full recovery of the central player status create a team. Each team has a warrior, a mage, and a priest. The team with full status can go to the city to fight. If we continue to waste time, our assassins will be in trouble. The short half-hour battle has already made Feli tired of it. It has never fought such a bad battle. The enemy's attack power is obviously not high, but it is surprisingly coquettish. The original high momentum of the troops has been worn down. The damage is not high, but the insult is very strong. While the Kra tribe is annoyed, the player camp is also not feeling well because of the heavy casualties. Bai Bing learned the specific data from Heli Bai. The original number of the Kra tribe was 50,000, but now it has become more than 40,000. However, the player camp was close to 600,000 at the beginning, but now it has become more than 400,000, but less than 500,000. The Kra tribe used less than 10,000 battles to consume more than 100,000 combat power of the player camp. This is not a solution. Bai Bing scratched his head and said, the players haven't realized the seriousness of the situation yet. Bai Bing, start comparing the battle damage information, pin it to the top of each player's perspective, and issue a notice to announce the battle damage. System announcement, now reporting the battle damage situation. The Kra tribe originally had a battle strength of 50,000, but now has a battle strength of 41,222. The player camp originally had a battle strength of 581,998, but now has a battle strength of 478,762. The battle damage system is now temporarily enabled, and players can check the pinned battle damage information at any time. The player camp, which was not so nervous at first, suddenly became serious. Something is wrong. We will lose like this. So many of us died? Exclamation mark. The loss of the battle shocked even the commander, and he said, you can listen to me, it's right. He issued several notices in a row. Assassins can join the team they meet to form a team force. Warriors should not be reluctant to take drugs. Priests should try to help output when they have enough mana. Mages should output at full strength, and before the warriors fall, you must use a few fireball skills, even if you run out of mana. Don't be reckless when you encounter a large army, and fight and retreat. The World Channel also stopped joking because of the loss of the battle information. What a joke. How can you joke when your house is being raided? Losing and being suspended for a week is a small matter, but dignity is a big matter. 1630, 70 minutes of fighting, because the players' cooperation is getting better and better, and because the Kra tribe is getting more and more reckless, the number of enemies has obviously decreased. Now the Kra tribe's combat power has become 31,221. All players look at the loss of the battle from time to time. The current combat power of the player camp is 356,289, which is half of the combat power. It is going to lose. At this time, a message suddenly appeared in the World Channel, attracting everyone's attention. Fuck, I've reached level 10, and my damage is much higher. Before, a flat attack was just a scratch, but now the damage is higher. If you hadn't told me, I wouldn't have noticed it. After I reached level 10, I saw that my health dropped significantly with a backstab. Due to the death of the Kra people above level 10, the originally low level players gained a lot of experience. This battle situation gave the originally low morale player camp hope. It's right to listen to my brother. The team that lost the priest or the team whose priest is not in good condition should quickly return to the main city center to find the medical NPC to recover and immediately participate in the battle. We drag it out. We have hope. Seeing the sudden surge in the strength of the enemy, Feli was confused and shocked. He knew that this was not a solution, so he asked his servants to blow the horn to gather the troops and prepare to rush in one go. Something is wrong. The Japanese are grouping together. We can't charge against them. There's nothing we can do. We only have 2 skills, and we can't do any damage. Did the official make a mistake? They just started this battle. How can we fight it? Listen to me, it's right. He hurriedly said, the large army should fight and retreat. The mage should slow down with freezing, and the priest should deal damage with thunder. Even if the warrior dies, he should protect the mage and priest. If the output and the nurse die, they will have to wait for an hour to go online. We can't wait. However, the players who have been dying since the beginning of the battle have been watching the battle through the forum live broadcast. Many of the players who died were waiting for an hour of online cooling, and they went online to join the team when the time was up. Because of this phenomenon, the players' losses did not decrease, and the Kra tribe was slowly consumed and suffered greater casualties. At first, I didn't feel it, but slowly the player camp also noticed this. No mistake, 1 song, 1 post, 1 content, 1 book, 1 forum, 1 6, 1 9, 1 book, 1 forum, 1 look. The player commander was overjoyed. Players, let's fight and retreat. Slowly wear down the enemy. We have the advantage in numbers. Every Kala tribe that was destroyed turned into experience and soul points and fed back to every player who caused damage. Freddy found that something was wrong. Not only did the enemy's combat effectiveness become stronger, but the number of people also increased. It was impossible for him, who was good at fighting, to detect the mistake. So where did the enemy come from? At this time, the combat effectiveness of the Kala tribe had dropped to less than 25,000 people. Freddy hesitated for a long time, constantly struggling between retreat and attack. In the end, he decided to fight to the death. A miserable victory was better than a failure. In the Kala tribe, who were good at fighting, if they failed and returned to the tribe, they would be executed, even if they were the chief of the tribe. Freddy came to the front of the battle line and roared. The deafening sound scared the players and greatly boosted the morale of the Kala tribe. Messages popped up in the world channel. A boss with different health bars is coming. What do you say? Are you going to break the jar? What's going on? Are you going to fight or not? Fight for nothing. My hands are almost exhausted. I don't even dare to kill chickens at home. Can you believe that I have been fighting monsters for so long in the game? Stop talking nonsense. The opponent is rushing over. Listen to what my brother said. It's right. All mages freeze and slow down the ordinary monsters on the opposite side. Priests use thunder to bombard the boss. Warriors go up and don't let the boss rush in. Assassins give me a large backstab package. The Kra tribe is very powerful, but the player camp is really not afraid. The large army can't keep up. If you rush into the boss alone, you will be killed. Even if the damage is low, one person's spit can kill you. Freddy rushed halfway and found that his tribesmen did not catch up, and a group of densely packed big men rushed out in front of him, insulting him, and there were densely packed thunder and lightning. He was numbed by the lightning and his blood was surging in less than 2 seconds. The assassins who had seized the opportunity stabbed Freddy fiercely, no matter from the back or the front. They stabbed wherever they could. A group of people surrounded Freddy densely. Seeing that the boss had lost half of his health in such a short time, the players rushed forward like chicken blood. Freddy used all his strength to swing his sword around. Dozens of frontline warriors were killed instantly, but he could not withstand the insults of the crowd, and fell down before he could even scream, and a blue sword and countless primary souls exploded. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8, The Surge in the Number of Players. The remaining Kra tribe saw their chief being killed and immediately thought of retreating, but they were leaderless and didn't know whether to retreat or not. The player camp was of course unwilling to let them escape. After all, the remaining monsters were all soul points and experience. It's true what my brother said, brothers. The early bird catches the worm. Time to eat meat. Bai Bing saw that the outcome was settled and closed the forum. He smiled and said, "This is considered a win." Hey Bai, not really. This is just the advanced team of the Kra tribe, led by just a tribal chief. Bai Bing, let's take it one step at a time. He got up and walked out of the property office. Seeing Chengshi still standing at the door, he asked in surprise, "Are you still here, Manager Cheng? I thought you went back." Chengshi, "That's not right, Mr. Bai. You are the boss. How can an employee leave before the boss?" Bai Bing, "It's okay. I'm going back too. You should get off work early too. It's up to you to manage this place from now on." Chengshi was overjoyed. It seemed that the Mr. Bai in front of him was easy to get along with and had no plans to change property companies. After all, the Huiyuan building was a rare lucrative job in the city. After leaving Huiyuan, Bai Bing returned home in the evening. The battle in the game lasted for several hours, and these hours also captured the hearts of the players of Planet. The authenticity, shock, and immersion made the players unable to stop. In the game, an hour after the battle ended, my brother told me to collect all the equipment and primary souls that dropped in this battle, and then sent a message. After sorting them out, "Come on, the roll point has started. Players who need it can participate, but it is best to only roll the equipment of your own profession, and roll the primary soul later." The world channel was instantly flooded with messages. "It's finally started. I didn't even need to wait for it. If I don't start, my dad's 7 wolves will take action. There's no way. I have to wait for the dead brothers to come online." It's really cute that the command is so humane, but it's a little poor. There's no point in saying more. Look at me, I'm the Emperor of Luck. While the players in the game were having a good time, Bai Bing received a call from Lawyer Yi outside the game, saying that the news that Bai Bing sold his shares for profit had been noticed by many people in the financial industry, and many large companies contacted Bai Bing's fund to ask if he was interested in developing in other fields. Bai Bing said that there was no plan for the next step for the time being, and he just needed to operate the fund's money as usual. After hanging up the phone, he remembered that he hadn't eaten dinner yet, and looked at the empty environment of his home and sighed. He picked up his phone, ordered a takeaway, and then took a shower. It would be nice if his grandparents were around, but thinking about it, he still felt that it was impossible. The 2 old people refused to leave their hometown, but fortunately they were still healthy. The next day, Bai Bing got up early in the morning and habitually asked, "How many players are there now?" "More than 1 million. "Hey Bai," answered Bai Bing with an O, and then was stunned for a moment. "Huh? More than 1 million? Hey Bai, more than 1 million. Bai Bing, how come there are so many more players in one night?" "Hey Bai, because of the battle yesterday, some players posted the live broadcast of the battle to major video websites, and now the number of people online in the game is still increasing." Bai Bing hurriedly picked up his phone and opened the forum. Most of them were about the battle last night. Among them, the top post on the forum was to teach novice players what to pay attention to in this game. Not only that, many video websites and major game organizations or companies have noticed the terrifying game Planet. Whether it is authenticity or gamma play, it is better than all games on the market now. If nothing unexpected happens, it will definitely be another phenomenal game. But fortunately, Bai Bing has not left any content related to the game so far. Bai, it is estimated today that the number of players will reach nearly 2 million. Next, you have to think about how to conquer the creatures in the game. Bai Bing, we already have a player base, so we will add corresponding mechanisms and gamma play next. The main quest will become a quest related to exploring the Kra tribe. The side quests can increase the number of high-level players to lead low-level players, and use the method of old players leading new players to obtain chivalry points. A certain amount of chivalry points can be exchanged for primary souls. Bai, okay, but there is one thing. Although the player level has gone up, the skills of the player's profession are still very good. Even if the damage has increased, the fighting method is still very simple. Bai Bing, add a skill book mechanism. Players can obtain corresponding professional skills every time they level up by 5, and can change their profession at level 20. Bai's unhappy voice came. "It's okay, but with such a large base group, it will consume a lot of soul points." Bai Bing smiled. "Don't worry, you will earn it back in the future." Bai, then how do we add corresponding skills to the corresponding professions, and change their professions? Bai Bing scolded. "You really plan to rely on me to think about it all? I'm helping you. Didn't you notice? The creatures in the game are real creatures, and I have no experience. Hey Bai mumbled for a while and said, then I will use the culture and traditions of China to create corresponding professions. Bai Bing nodded. Okay, if there is a chance to expand abroad in the future, I will also create traditional professions in the country where I'm located. It will save trouble and worry. No mistakes in one song, one post, one content, 1619, one book, one bar. System announcement. Congratulations to the player camp for defeating the Kra tribe, but a greater crisis is still to come. The Kra tribe that was defeated this time is just one of the advanced tribes. The chief of the Kra tribe will know this news soon. Please explore according to the gamma play. The main task has been changed to explore the Kra tribe in order to win the battle with the Kra tribe in the near future. If the battle with the Kra tribe fails, the game will be suspended for a certain period of time. The game activities have added a chivalry value mechanism. High-level players can help low-level players and obtain different levels of chivalry value according to the degree of help. A certain amount of chivalry value can be exchanged for items with the NPC Goodman and the human race main city. The game has added a variety of restorative and enhancement drugs, which players can check by themselves. The game has added level skills, and players of different professions can find the corresponding NPC in the main city to buy skill books, which players can check by themselves. The game has added a professional full-time mechanism, and players who reach level 20 can find the corresponding NPC to receive full-time tasks, and they can successfully become full-time after completing the tasks. As soon as the game announcement came out, the players exploded instantly. Finally, there are new skills. That's great. My hands are almost numb from cutting. Where are the newcomers? Come join my team. Brother will take you to experience love and excitement. Newbies, please take me, a nice and gentle girl. The upstairs player joins my team. I'm 36, 36, 36. Bai Bing looked at the heated discussion on the forum and asked, don't you think the current way for players to upgrade is too simple? Apart from accepting NPC tasks in the main city, they have to kill underage crap people wandering out in the wild. Only a very small number of strong people dare to go deep into the Kra area to fight. Is there no other way to upgrade? Henny Bai explained. Except for the human main city, which was built by me with soul points, the others are real creatures. I can't create creatures out of thin air for players to develop. Bai Bing, is there no way? Hey Bai, no, it can only be explored by the players themselves, but this problem is only temporary. As long as the Kra people are conquered, I can open up a larger area. The races encountered at that time will be hostile and friendly. Of course, there will be more real creatures in the wild. Those creatures also have their own living habits. If you encounter bloodthirsty and brutal wild creatures, you can kill them, and you can also gain soul points and experience. Bai Bing smiled and said, it seems that you can do everything, as long as you have soul points. Henny Bai did not respond. Bai Bing, it seems that the current urgent situation is to cut the leaks of the players. Chapter 9, First Meeting with Yang Yifi. U2 walked out of the game virtual warehouse, wiped the sweat from his forehead, and took a breath. Then opened the game forum of Planet and posted a message. Please tell me why I can't find the recharge page. The following replies were instantly flooded. Looking for it too. Isn't the official website afraid of bankruptcy? Such a large-scale simulation game is powered by love. Doesn't the game promotion promise that you won't spend money for life? I think I can still spend a little money. I'm afraid that if I don't spend money, the official will go bankrupt. This kind of game is hard to come by. If it goes bankrupt, I will be autistic. Like me, the above person is sterilized if it becomes popular. Forced sterilization? I want to spend money too. I worked hard with the fixed team for a long time to kill a few Kra tribe devils. I want to throw away my green clothes. Is the above person so versatile? I can't afford the equipment. I just want to spend some soul points, which is totally not enough. What's funny is that the official doesn't have a recharge page, and the trading platform in the game actually uses soul points as handling fees. They are simply inhumane. What's the use of soul points? Please let us spend money. Seeing the players who were equally confused, U2 searched the internet for the development team of Planet, but the results were all fake news on the internet. As a game enthusiast, U2 has seen a lot of big scenes, but he still doesn't understand the official's idea. This kind of game can't be generated by love. How can it make money without Krypton Gold? U2's game ID is U2, which is a random homophonic name, but this ID is one of the few technical internet celebrities in the game, and on the forum, and a magician in the top 10 of the level ranking. Relying on the fixed team formed by summoning teammates on the first day of the game's launch, the team is all dressed in green. Unfortunately, the only blue weapon in the server that was dropped by the small boss in the previous battle is not in his team. Just when I was about to close the forum, I suddenly saw a private message. The sender was "You can be right if you listen to me." I clicked on the private message and it said, "U2, I have organized a team of 100 people to go into the Krat tribe at 1400 hours tomorrow afternoon. I have contacted the top 100 players on the ranking list. Except for a few players who can't spare the time, almost all of them have agreed. Now I want to invite you to join the team. What do you think?" U2 thought about it and then replied in agreement. The news of exploring the Krat tribe caused heated discussions on the official forum. The ranking system of the game is very difficult to upgrade. Because there is no Krypton Gold Gamma play, high-level players are more authoritative than low-level players. However, almost all the top 100 players on the ranking list responded to this action, and almost all players are paying attention. However, Bai Bing was concerned about the construction plan of his office in the Huan building at this time. The decoration plan was almost completed on the same day. Bai Bing came to the 20th floor of Huan. Several men in suits and a middle-aged man in casual clothes were looking at the surrounding interior structure. Cheng Shi saw Bai Bing coming and smiled as he went up to shake hands with Bai Bing. "Boss Bai, let me introduce you. This is Boss Yang, the boss of our city's UFO construction company." The man in plain clothes came to Bai Bing, stretched out his hand, and said with a smile, "My name is Yang Yifi. Boss Bai is young and promising, and a very talented person." Bai Bing held Yang Yifi's hand and said, "Boss Yang is not very old, and I've heard of your company. It's a star enterprise in our city, and it almost accounts for 1/3 of our city's construction projects." Yang Yifi waved his hand and said modestly, "That's all because of other people's care. I'm just serving the people." Cheng Shi said, "You two don't need to be so modest. Boss Bai and Boss Yang are of the same age. No one would believe your achievements if you told them." Yang Yifi, "Thank you for the compliment, Manager Cheng. Boss Bai, how are we going to decorate our floor? Do you have a design plan? If not, I can also provide design services." Bai Bing raised the good USB flash drive in his hand. "I already have a design plan." Yang Yifi waved to a man in a suit behind him, who came over with a handbag and opened his laptop. Bai Bing inserted the USB drive and opened the design plan. "Mr. Yang, take a look." Yang Yifi took a quick look at the interior pictures and then became serious. He waved to the other men to come over and take a look together. Bai Bing did not disturb them. Cheng took out a pack of cigarettes from his pocket and handed one over. Bai Bing waved his hand to indicate that he didn't know and asked, "I didn't expect you to know Yang Yifi." Cheng Shi smiled and said, "Mr. Bai, you're joking. Mr. Yang came here because of our building and your reputation. I'm just a property manager. How can I know a big shot like Mr. Yang?" Bai Bing looked at Yang Yifi and the others who were discussing the design drawings behind him and said, "Do you know Mr. Yang's background?" Cheng Shi shook his head and said, "I don't know the details, but everyone knows that he has connections. Our city is the provincial capital, and almost all of his projects are municipal projects. 1/3 of our city's municipal projects have been contracted to him. The other large projects are also very famous. Others say that he is less than 30 years old, and there must be his elders in the team." Bai Bing nodded. At this time, Yang Yifi said to Bai Bing, "Mr. Bai, we have discussed your design plan. We think the structure and materials are feasible. If you have no objection to our price, how about we sign the contract?" Bai Bing nodded in agreement, took the contract from a man, glanced at it, then took the pen again, signed his name on it, and handed it back. No mistakes. 1 post, 1 content, 1619, 1 book, 1 bar. Yang Yifi said, "We have a pleasant cooperation. Does Mr. Bai have contact information?" We will finish the work as soon as possible and then I will notify Mr. Bai. Bai Bing told the other party his mobile phone number. Mr. Yang, can you help me arrange some interior decoration and some tables, chairs, and computers after the decoration is completed? Yang Yifei smiled and said, no problem, it's a small matter. Our company has these supporting services. Bai Bing smiled and said, thank you very much, Mr. Yang. Your company can draft a contract and come to me to sign at any time. Yang Yifei laughed. No hurry, no hurry. Mr. Bai has such a big Huan building here. I'm not afraid that Mr. Bai will run away. The two exchanged a few words and then Yang Yifei said goodbye. Bai Bing thought that Yang Yifei was quite interesting. If there is a chance in the future, they can try to make close friends. Bai Bing and Cheng chatted for a few words and then left the building. They walked to the road and looked back at the Huan building. The office location was found and it seemed that they had to start recruiting people. Until now, they have not even registered their company. He took out his cell phone and called Lawyer Yi to ask him to help register a company with business scope covering games, movies, entertainment, etc. Hey Bai said at this time, actually, you can let me help you. You ask others for money, I don't need money. Bai Bing complained, then you can't jump out and go to the administrative hall to help me get the certificate. Hey Bai muttered, don't you know that it can be sent by express delivery now? Bai Bing was stunned for a moment. Oh, right, how could I forget? When I founded Miffy, I still ran around to get the certificates myself. Is it so convenient now? Exclamation mark. Subconsciousness kills people. Chapter 10 The Assembled Army. At the foot of an unknown mountain in the game, the player Yuta was sitting on the grass and saw players coming one after another. Seeing that the IDs above their heads were all people on the level list, he thought that our temporary command and organization ability was really strong, and we could actually call on so many talented people in a short period of time. At this time, a man with the ID Leone Young Shampoo came to Yutu, squatted down and said with a smile, Master Yutu, do you mind chatting? Yutu looked at the top 10 players on the opposite side and joked, hey, our master is here too. Don't you advocate working alone? Leona touched his bald head with shampoo. I'm used to playing alone, but I'm not stupid. I just can't find a fixed team. Don't look at my bald head, it's all wisdom. It's hard for the Kara Devils to play alone, and I can also hug some of them in a group. Yuta smiled and said, now the game has been open for less than a week. Now the high level players coming and going are all players who came in before the Kara Devils attacked the city. It is indeed difficult to find a fixed team. But your name is so loud, you should find a lot of teams to want you, so you can find it. Leona Young Shampoo sighed, the fighting style of the team I found before is not suitable for me. You too? Why does a priest need a fighting style? Isn't it enough to just stand behind and nurse? I pointed to a female player with a proud figure in the distance and said in a mean way, look at that player over there, she has a very proud figure. Yutu was speechless. Master, please respect yourself. You have broken the precepts. I used shampoo. Lust, caution is a tribulation that everyone needs to go through. I'm just going through the tribulation in the world of mortals. Please don't misunderstand. Yutu, have you always been so naughty? The forum was extremely lively at this time. Most of the players opened the forum to watch the live broadcast of this exploration. There were many generous people who rewarded soul points. The initiator of this live broadcast was Bai Bing. There was no other way. In order to help Henry Bai earn soul points, he had to do everything he could. What's up, Fatty C? Why haven't you done anything yet? The one upstairs is from Fujian province, right? A large group of people from Guangdong province are about to arrive with seasonings. It will definitely be a major strategic mistake if I don't take charge this time. I only care about when to act. I specifically find reasons to quarrel with my wife so that I can spare time to watch the live broadcast. Please hurry up. The one upstairs is a role model for our generation. Bai Bing has become a little accustomed to the nature of these stupid players who can even lead the battle astray, let alone this kind of exploration live broadcast. A tall female player in the game came up and said to everyone, Hello everyone, I heard it from my brother. You can call me Brother Ting. I will temporarily serve as the commander of this operation. The high level players present, and the players watching the live broadcast were all surprised. Fuck, our commander is a woman. She's pretty, I'm attracted to her. Calm down, the person above, calm down. In this game, except for gender, you can't change your figure and appearance. What my brother said is right. I'm going to start the tribe team now. Everyone click me to join the group. Don't waste time. We won't wait for the players who haven't arrived yet. Everyone joined the group one after another, and I said to Yutu with shampoo, brother Yutu, how about we join the same troop group, so that I can protect you. Yutu rolled his eyes. I'm a mage, and you're a priest. Both of us are squishy. It's your turn to protect me. But he still nodded in agreement. After all, every team must have a priest, and it doesn't matter who comes. They are all masters on the level list anyway. After everyone joined the group, the commander said, the purpose of this exploration is to learn more about the details of the Kra tribe. The previous boss was just one of their tribal leaders. The official information says that the Kra tribe has 7 tribal leaders, and each tribal leader has a combat power of no less than 50,000. There are also clan leaders above the tribal leaders, so in addition to exploration, our task also includes a decapitation mission. Seeing that everyone had no objection, he continued, don't waste any more time, get to work early, and get off work early, let's go. Bai Bing looked at the live broadcast and smiled. This woman has a wild temper. Hey Bai, if you are interested, I can give you her information. Bai Bing was speechless. I'm just talking. There are so many people watching the live broadcast on the forum. Won't your backend server burn out? This is a player group of tens of millions. Hey Bai, no, let alone tens of millions. Even hundreds of billions will not be less. And let me remind you, the number of people watching the live broadcast has exceeded 100,000, and the number of registered game users has exceeded 2 million. Bai Bing was surprised. Then he thought about it, and told Hey Bai what he thought. Hey Bai stared at Bai Bing and muttered, you are a devil. At this time, a sentence suddenly popped up on the page where each player watched the live broadcast. Hello, players. This live broadcast is a long-distance third-person perspective. You can also spend 10 soul points to open one of the task player's first-person perspective. The noisy forum was instantly silent. Why do I feel that the official is trying to cheat our soul points? The above person's reaction arc is a bit long. It's not enough that you don't open the recharge, but you also cheat our soul points. Official, where is your conscience? There is no way to save soul points in this game. No mistake. 1 song, 1 post, 1 content, 1 6, 1 9, 1 book, 1 bar. Various players complained, but there are still many players who opened the first person perspective. This is the so-called love and hate. It's really good. After 2 hours of climbing and wading, the team of 100 people finally came to a plane, and the team complained. This map is too big. It takes 2 hours to complete an exploration mission. It will take another 2 hours to go back. You can also choose to die directly. Anyway, you can return to the main city to revive by spending some soul points. I don't have money. The higher the level, the more expensive the return trip. The damn official will never let us save soul points. Then you can only revive and run back where you are. Listen to my brother's words. The official data only gives the general direction of the Kra tribe. I didn't expect it to be so far away, but it's a good thing. If their next large-scale attack takes longer, it will be easier for us to ambush. Something's wrong. There are too many of them. There are at least more than 100,000 here. 150,000. I was a soldier before, so I won't be wrong. This is the first time I see 150,000 people standing together. This is too shocking. Bai Bing asked Hey Bai to give a close-up of the direction of the Kra tribe in the live broadcast. However, just this close-up directly shocked the players watching the live broadcast. It is possible that the city where the players live has far more than 150,000 people, but if 150,000 people are gathered together, it is almost impossible to see in reality. From the perspective, the Kra tribe filled the entire plain. Although they were not standing in a neat formation, the reality of covering the hillside with creatures made every player speechless. My mom asked me why I was kneeling to play the game. You told me this is a game. Reality is not so real. I suddenly felt that the official 10 soul points were too low, and I felt guilty. In the in-game exploration team, I was also very shocked to hear my brother say that it was correct. They are not gathering troops. At this time, the player with the ID Sword Star who was ranked first on the level list and had been silent said gloomily, "You guessed it right. This is a rhythm of preparing to march and attack. So the attack is, obviously." Chapter 11, Sudden Battle. Bai Bing looked at the live broadcast in silence and then said, "With 150,000 combat forces, we should be able to win. After all, our player camp has a combat force of over 1 million. Hey Bai, although the journey of so many combat forces is slow, it is not far from the player's main city after all. It will definitely arrive in the middle of the night. At that time, the number of online players will drop sharply. And don't forget that most of the current players are low-level players, and they may not be able to defeat the 150,000 elite players of the Kra tribe." Bai Bing sighed. "You really know how to choose the time. What will be the consequences if you are defeated this time?" "Hey Bai, if the service is suspended, I will fall into a deep sleep again due to excessive consumption." Bai Bing, "How long will it take to wake up?" Hey Bai did not respond. Bai Bing did not get a reply and continued, "We may not lose. Send an announcement for the main task. If we lose this battle, the game will be suspended indefinitely." In the game, listening to what his brother said was right and he had expected the situation tonight. He instantly felt powerless. Although he was afraid in the first battle, he was more excited at that time, but now it is different. The time, place, and people are not favorable, and it is difficult to win. At this time, the game suddenly issued an announcement to the players of Planet. The Kra tribe discovered the unexpected situation of the frontline troops and has assembled 3 tribal leaders to prepare to send troops to attack the player's main city. The Kra tribe is expected to arrive at the main city late at night. If this battle fails, the game will be suspended indefinitely. Players are requested to resist this battle according to the gameplay. The content of this battle is medical NPC players below level 10 double experience battle honor value, and the honor value can be exchanged for a level 20 blue suit in the game when it reaches a certain amount. Soul value is not charged for returning from death and resurrection during the battle. A certain number of level 20 elite guards are added to the player's main city to resist foreign enemies together with the player. During the battle, the world channel speech does not charge soul value, and the command speech is pinned to the top. The battle command application can be passed if 50% of the participating players agree. Black and white, this is all I can do now. Bai Bing suddenly said, "This battle is expected to last until the next day, right? Should I order some barbecue and drinks to prepare for a protracted war?" Black and white. Whether in the in-game forum or not, all players felt their blood boiling. People who were watching the live broadcast came online one after another. Small beams of light appeared in the main city. Experienced players tacitly created teams and waited for the battle to begin, while new players followed suit and applied to join the team. In the team of 100 people, everyone looked at Tingzhen as if waiting for the commander to give orders. The latter smiled bitterly and applied to the system for battle command. The current players participating in the game received application prompts one after another and were approved almost in seconds. Tingzhen said it was right and immediately spoke. For this battle, the team of 100 people will withdraw immediately. The assassins will use their newly learned trap skills to set up traps along the way. The assassin players in the main city will also set traps along the path in the direction of the Kra tribe. The warriors, mages, and priests will create their own troops. The Kra tribe will have 150,000 attackers this time, and their march will be very slow. Try to fight 2 field battles before they arrive at the main city to consume their troops. The resurrected players and the newly online players will form teams on their own and act according to the situation. Do not consider retreating in field battles until you die in battle and resurrect in the main city. As soon as the commander finished speaking, the players in the main city rushed out of the main city like crazy and headed towards the Kra tribe. The players who had experienced the last battle explained the details to the new players, who were very excited and expectant. The assassin players drove fast to set traps along the way. In the camp of the Kra tribe, a sturdy Kra tribe member who was nearly 3 meters tall sat in the center of the camp. He looked at the 3 tribal leaders standing in front of him and said in a low voice, "I called you 3 here this time to let your 3 tribes take down the main city of the human race." One of the 3 said, "The troops of my tribe are more than enough to eat up the human race. You don't need to let them participate." The tribe leader glanced at the man who was speaking. Feli was defeated by the human race. How much stronger do you think you are than it? The man snorted, "TSK, I'm not that waste. I only have kidneys in my head." The tribe leader, Zun, use your toughness on the enemy. Your tribe is good at riding and shooting. This time, you will be the first to take the lead. If you fail this time, there will be no place for your tribe in the tribe. Do you understand what I mean? Zun looked at the 2 people beside him and smiled grimly. "I hope you 2 brothers will not make trouble at that time." After that, he turned around and left the camp directly. The tribe leader looked at the tribe members who left and said to the remaining 2, "Dan, Shi, you know what I mean. Go down." Zun left the camp and asked his attendants to gather the troops. Soon, he led 50,000 troops of his tribe to set off in a mighty manner. The ferocious wolf cavalry rushed to the human main city at full speed. However, halfway through, Zun smelled a strange feeling. Strange. Why is it so quiet along the way? Or thunderbolt accurately hit a cavalryman and the army behind him. The strong paralysis caused the Kra cavalryman to fall off his horse accidentally. Although it was not fatal, it made it temporarily lose its combat effectiveness. This thunderbolt was a signal from the human command. I heard from my brother that this thunderbolt was the first battle of the counterattack. Zun immediately raised his hand and shouted loudly, "Enemy attack! Find them! Kill them all!" As soon as the voice fell, lightning strikes of varying sizes fell from the sky, and screams continued to be heard. Looking at his people who were constantly injured, Zun was in a panic for a while. The direction of the lightning was from the sky, which made it impossible for him to find the direction of the enemy. Zun shouted loudly, "Disperse and break through. Kill the enemy directly when you meet them." No mistake. The Kra cavalry immediately scattered in all directions after hearing the order. However, this behavior was just as expected by the human commander. He sent a message with the command authority, "The enemy has been dispersed." When encountering the enemy, high-level mages use powerful output, low-level mages are responsible for deceleration, and warriors must be at the front no matter what. When teammates are injured, priests are responsible for group healing. Don't save mana. The opponent is cavalry, and the back row must also resist. If the priest can't heal, take medicine yourself. The start of this battle and the pre-war mobilization of Planet players attracted almost all players, game companies and studios in China. Countless players who had never played this game clicked on the official website to watch the live broadcast. Because they had no game ID and soul value to watch the first-person perspective, they could only watch this most shocking war in the history of games from a distance with a third-person perspective. You're telling me this is a game? Are you sure it's not a movie? The games I played before were all crap. How many players are there here? I'm exhausted. It's my first time watching a live game broadcast and my blood is boiling. Countless game company and studio bosses hurriedly ordered their subordinates, find a way to contact the development team of Planet and see if there is any way to get the agency rights. Set up a studio and move into Planet. This game will definitely be a phenomenal level. Communicate with subordinate game companies and contact Planet to see if they plan to expand their business overseas. Chapter 12: A difficult beginning. If the old players thought of this battle as a protracted war, then the new players thought of underestimating the Kra tribe. After all, the battle strength ratio at this time was more than 2 million in the player camp to 150,000 in the Kra tribe, and the enemy camp and the player camp only had 50,000 soldiers. However, the idea was sexy, but the reality was very skinny. Some new players who didn't listen to the command and wanted to output and get honor points found that their damage was like scraping, and the consequence was that the magician's restrictions and the priest's healing ability were seriously insufficient. The warrior profession of the player camp surrounded the Kra tribe from all directions and lost 1/10 of it in a charge of the enemy cavalry. The saddest thing was that once the warrior profession died, the fragile players in the back row were killed one by one. Listen to me, it's true. I helplessly watched the player camp show signs of defeat after just one battle, and hurriedly shouted in the command channel, "Players, listen to the command. The old players of each team will assign tasks to the new players in the team. Players on the ranking list such as Jiang Xing, Yutu, Leo Naoyang Shampoo, and Wu who formed their own teams. After all, these people are powerful fighters. If they form a team again, they will not be able to play the advantages of the player camp." Zun looked at the situation in front of him and smiled evilly. I don't know how Fei was defeated by this group of ants. The two camps fought for 10 minutes. In just 10 minutes, in the first battle of this campaign, the player camp's combat power dropped from more than 500,000 to less than 400,000. Under the scolding or persuasion of the old players in the team, the novice players finally discovered the cruelty of this game, and they stopped the decline by fighting steadily and orderly according to the command. The forum area and the live broadcast room have exploded. Why do I feel like the players are going to lose? Are the players so weak? Hasn't this game been open for just a few days? Is it so difficult to play? They can't lose. Official data says that the number of registered users of this game has exceeded 10 million. And if you die, you can just revive and continue playing, right? Stop talking nonsense. It's the middle of the night. Do you think everyone can go online? And the game stipulates that there is an hour CD after dying. The scene is so shocking. I want to register an account now. Me too. Those who have registered an account should go ahead. Set the alarm tomorrow to form a team and go online for a wave. Bai Bing's comparison of the battle situation at this time was very subjective because only he knew that the suspension of service after failure was not just talk, it was really an indefinite suspension. People who watched the live broadcast at night went offline in batches. Many players in the game also had sleep pressure and they no longer chose to wait for the CD after dying. The marching team of Dan and she heard the sound of fighting in front of them. The two looked at each other. Dan asked, "Should we go up to help Zun?" She shook his head. "Given its personality, it will probably chop you down too." Dan smiled and waved his hand to signal the team to stop. She said, "Just let it play by itself. I even let it attack the human main city alone. I can't figure out where all the extra people in the human race suddenly came from." Dan, don't think so much. Kill them all this time, and there won't be any more in the future. At 4 o'clock in the middle of the night, the number of online players in the camp was less than 100,000. However, what Bai Bing didn't expect was that all the top 100 people on the level list were still online. Listening to my brother, I didn't send a message on the command channel. The team on the level list attacked the lone Kra people one by one. The players had been confronting the Kra tribe for several hours in the middle of the night. Zun was annoyed by the ants in front of him and shouted to the army, "Don't worry about these people. Everyone charge and get rid of these ants." Looking at the actions of the Kra tribe, none of the players present were fools. They immediately knew that they wanted to get rid of them and directly attack the human race's main city instead of fighting a war of attrition with them. Listen to what my brother said is right. All mage troops use restrictive skills. Assassins immediately set traps along the way. We have to wear them out until the dawn, when the players come online. If we can't delay before dawn, we basically lose. In fact, there is no need for command to say that everyone knows what to do. Players who hang up and wait to go online spontaneously posted on the official forum to beg players to go online to participate in this battle. Some people posted on major social networking sites. The overwhelming requests for participation moved Bai Bing. This is exactly how he loved the game at the beginning. Now his game makes players pay so much. Bai Bing feels gratified and moved. "Yes, you can do it. I will accompany you in this battle." A red pinned post suddenly appeared on the forum, and the publisher was the ID named Planet Official. "Fuck, you damn official, you finally came out. Are you sure you won't modify the data? What are you doing with the hell mainline just after the game is launched? If it weren't for my CD, I would have complained about you." The post instantly received thousands of replies. Although the players were fighting hard, seeing that there were officials paying attention to them and accompanying them at this time finally touched them a little. At 5 o'clock in the middle of the night, the number of players participating in the battle was more than 50,000, and the number of Zun's cavalry troops was 45,000, less than 50 kilometers away from the human race's main city. At 6 o'clock in the morning, the number of players participating in the battle was less than 40,000, and the number of Zun's cavalry troops was less than 20,000, less than 20 kilometers away from the human race's main city. No mistakes in one song, one post, one content, 1619, one book, one forum. Listen to what my brother said, and send a message on the command channel. Everyone retreat to the main city to maintain combat power. Bai Bing didn't sleep all night, and couldn't sleep. This kind of war was more stressful than when he started his business. Compared with Bai Bing, the players fighting in the game consumed more energy than Bai Bing. If it weren't for Bai saying that the soul could be consolidated in the game, Bai Bing was worried that the players would die suddenly. This kind of high intensity battle was not something that ordinary people could endure. The retreat of the player Linoop made Zun reveal a ferocious look. Very good. Thinking of retreating to defend the main city, relying on your less than 40,000 combat power to stop me. You really look down on me. The player camp was relieved to see that Zun did not choose to pursue, but stayed in place to reorganize the team. The Kra tribe thought that the resting team could break through the human race's main city at one time, but what they didn't know was that more players would go online. As long as it dragged on, the number of people online would increase, and it would be easier to fight at that time. Almost all the players who returned to the main city went to the store to replenish medicine and go to the medical NPC. Some people also went to the honor exchange officer to exchange equipment. After playing the battle all night, many people were able to exchange 1 or 2 pieces of blow honor equipment. Some players on the level list could even exchange a set of blow honor equipment. I'm more tired than working overtime to play a game. I'm so tired after playing all night. If it weren't for the nutrient solution in my virtual warehouse, I would have died suddenly. I didn't take the postgraduate entrance examination so seriously. The damn official is going to pit us to death. I was level 8 before the battle, and I'm level 15 after playing all night. Can you believe it? Nothing else. I just want to know how much equipment was recovered in the battle. I don't want equipment, just give me a primary soul. I'm almost level 20. The players who returned to the main city to rest welcomed a brief relaxation and started chatting again. In fact, everyone knew that this was just the calm before the storm. This kind of suffering can only be relieved by complaining about the official. After chatting for a while, everyone unanimously criticized the official. Chapter 13: A sudden change in the style of the battle. At 8 o'clock in the morning, Bai Bing was eating breakfast while wondering, strange, why haven't the Kra tribe attacked yet? Hey Bai, after the war, the defenders are passive. As time goes by, they will become more anxious and fearful. They may want to consume the players' minds. Bai Bing suddenly realized, and then laughed. How many people are online now? Hey Bai, over 1 million. The player camp obviously didn't know what to say. The surprise came too suddenly. This is to let them gather their forces. At this time, the Kra tribe was resting in the camp. Zun, who had closed his eyes to rest, opened his eyes, looked at the human main city in the distance, stood up and waved to the back. The soldiers of the Kra tribe cavalry unit chewed pieces of meat and mounted their horses, all revealing ferocious eyes. The players in the human city were stunned for a moment when they saw the other party's actions, and then hurriedly sent a message on the world channel. There is movement on the other side. Everyone get ready. I wonder if they will be surprised to see so many of us after entering the city. Let them in. I want to rush out and fight them now. Brother, the other side is a cavalry unit. Let them in to fight dogs more easily. What? The devils are going to enter the village again. Why do you say again? Ha. With Zun's roar, more than 40,000 Kra cavalry rushed straight to the human city. The guards on the city wall raised their bows and arrows and fired one after another. It must be said that they were elite guards. A round of volleys caused the Kra cavalry to lose hundreds of combat power. Zun was stunned for a moment. The army defending the city was so powerful? Then why didn't they ambush in the wild before? Such a charge would probably lose thousands of people when rushing to the human city, but the arrow has been shot, and there is no turning back. It is impossible to order a retreat now. Not only will it damage morale, but it will also be a blow to the prestige of his own tribal leader. Now he can only rush in with all his strength. At this time, the players were no longer as panicked as they were at the beginning. After experiencing 2 such real battles in the game in less than a week, everyone would grow up. Even the novice players were now following suit, listening to the command of the old players in the team and following the instructions. Seeing the counterattack of the guards in the main city, all the mage players went up to the city wall and launched skills at the enemies far below the city. High-level mages used skills with high damage, while low-level mage players used deceleration skills to limit the opponent. Zun estimated that there were more than 10,000 mages in the human main city alone, and a surge of blood almost spurted out of his heart. Are you kidding me? Where did these people crawl out of? It's so cool. It's cool to have more people. We were abused by their cavalry in the wild, and now it's finally our turn to abuse them. I've never fought such a rich battle in my 8 lifetimes. For the cavalry, this distance can be reached quickly, but it was precisely this distance that caused the cavalry to lose more than 2,000 soldiers. This situation made Zun very sad. These were all warriors in his own tribe. However, when the crack cavalry rushed to the human city wall, they discovered a situation that made Zun even more furious. Their cavalry did not have the equipment to break through the door and climb the city wall, so they could not enter the city in a short period of time. But if they did not break through the door now, they would be attacked from the city wall, and the casualties would be infinite. The players in the city almost laughed themselves to death when they saw this. I'm so impressed. Is the commander on the other side so reckless? I was abused by these idiots the whole night last night. Last night was so hard. Why is the style like this today? I'm a newbie who just registered. Can I laugh now? No. Have you noticed? We don't have any experience or honor points for the devils killed by the guards. Fuck. I wouldn't have known if you hadn't told me. After listening to what my brother said, she also realized this problem. She obviously didn't want to miss this kind of opportunity to beat the downtrodden dog. An evil idea came to her mind, and then she sent a message on the command channel. Little ones, I have a bold idea. Bai Bing was a little speechless when she saw the completely different style of painting. At this time, the players gathered at the gates of the main city. The soldiers stood in the front row, and the rest of the players stood in the back row, waiting for the next heart-wrenching action. Zun looked at the soldiers who were constantly injured and killed around him, and had already thought of retreating. Suddenly, he found that the gates were suddenly opened. He was overjoyed. This was a door to send heads. He shouted hurriedly, "Warriors! Charge into the human race's main city, and kill them all." He rushed in first, but when he entered, he found that many players in the city were looking at him with a smile on their faces. How could it be possible? Why are there so many people? No mistakes. 1 sentence, 1 post, 1 content, 1 6, 1 9, 1 book, 1 bar. Before he could react, the players pressed on. The back row output brainlessly released skills and bombed randomly, and the priest brainlessly added blood to the front row. No matter if you have blood or not, as long as I think you have no blood, then you are residual blood. The most boring is the assassin player. At this level, there are almost no long-range attack skills. You can only stay in the distance with a board, face to mix experience and honor points. Although each main city wall is not small, it is still very difficult for a large army to enter. Now there is a random bombardment from the player camp in front and the shooting of the guards on the city wall in the back. It is neither advancing nor retreating, and its own troops have dropped sharply. Zun knew that it was too late to save the situation now, so he shouted to retreat. As soon as he finished speaking, he discovered something that made him even more desperate. The city gates were actually closed. That's right, all the city gates were closed. The cavalry that didn't enter the city gates were collectively fired at by the city walls, and the cavalry locked inside had no way to retreat. Facing the player's mindless output, Zun shouted and rushed into the player camp, but was rushed by the Kra tribe troops. The players didn't think much about this situation. Now the combat power shows that the Kra tribe's combat power is a little over 110,000, which means that this Kra tribe cavalry unit has only a little over 10,000 people, and one person spitting saliva can drown them. Seeing the Kra tribe cavalry rushing in, the happiest person is undoubtedly the assassin player. Fuck, these devils are so competitive that they actually rushed in. Let's go for the tunnel war. Finally, my great assassin has a place to use his skills. Hahaha. Bai Bing knew that the overall situation was already decided. This cavalry unit of 50,000 people was considered to have been gnawed by the human race, and he could finally breathe a sigh of relief. After a sleepless night, Bai Bing got up and went back to his room to lie down, and soon fell asleep. Like Bai Bing, almost all the players who had experienced a night of fighting went offline to rest. As for the equipment, primary souls and other items that dropped from this troop, they cannot be auctioned now. There are still 2 troops in this battle. The battle will not be over until these 2 troops are eliminated, and the items that dropped cannot be settled before the battle is over. Almost all high-level players went offline to rest at this time, and the remaining online players planned to form their own teams to get the other 2 troops, because some players sent out the exchanged honor equipment, and everyone was surprised to find that it was a blue suit. Collecting a set can summon a god. No, collecting a set will have a suit bonus, and there is no level limit. As for Zun, a bunch of primary souls and 2 blue equipment have been dropped. In the minds of players, it is just a small boss, and no one will care about its defeat. Chapter 14. Players are eager to fight. After sleeping for a day, it was already afternoon when he woke up. Bai Bing sorted out some things and checked the game reviews online. He found many malicious comments. The content was almost all negative information, such as the game had no relevant documents to support it, no endorsement from the work team, it was a private industry that destroyed the ecological balance of the game, it had no relevant business license, and the game screen and content were easy to cause psychological trauma to players. As an old game player and related worker, Bai Bing knew at a glance that someone hired Water Army to make malicious comments, but thinking back, it was normal. The game planet was really a bit against the sky. Putting aside other things, it was a fact that it destroyed the ecological balance of the game, and Bai Bing did intend to destroy this bad game ecological balance. As for the so-called relevant business licenses and related documents, Bai Bing didn't pay much attention to them. After all, he was in the process of applying for them now. Even if he really didn't have them, what could he do? This game didn't intend to make a profit. Why should he consider these when he was generating electricity with love? Do you know who made these comments? Bai Bing asked. Henny Bai responded. They are all small game studios in China. No big companies? No, they are all looking for the team of our game to be the first to try it. They don't want to offend our game easily before they know whether we are enemies or friends. Bai Bing thought for a while and called lawyer Yi to ask how the company registration and business license documents were handled. Boss Bai, I have registered the name Black and White Game Studio according to your requirements. The relevant procedures for the studio are almost completed, but Black and White Game Co. Limited may take 2 more days. Bai Bing, okay, when the company is handled, I will transfer 10 million from my fund to it. Okay. After receiving the reply, Bai Bing was thinking about the issue of recruiting employees again. The studio is simple, and there is almost no need to recruit people. Just put the game planet in it. What is needed is a working team to endorse this game. As for the company, it needs to recruit some people. After all, the game does not charge money, but it can be expanded to other industries. Just the game peripherals alone can cut the leaks of many capitalists. That's right, it is to cut the capitalists. After some consideration, Bai Bing called a few people and invited them to come to Yangcheng to discuss something. Bai Bing was thinking about his future blueprint, while the players in the game were harassing the remaining 2 Kra tribes indiscriminately. Yes, desperately, really desperately. Now the players have only one way to upgrade, and the Kra tribe is the most delicious way to upgrade. They have experience and honor points, and it doesn't matter if they die. The 1-hour online CD has no cost at all, and it's disgusting. Dan and Shi were harassed by the players' camp. She, how can this group of humans be so disgusting? Are they crazy? They are harassing us without caring about their lives. Dan, it seems that Zun was defeated, otherwise there wouldn't be so many humans coming to harass us. But why was Zun defeated? Although it doesn't have much brains, it is recognized by our tribe as being brave and good at fighting. We underestimated this group of humans before. What should we do now? Dan, let's cooperate. One tribe alone can't chew this bone. Your tribe is good at defense and siege, and our tribe is good at fighting. As long as we attack the human main city, we should be able to end the battle in a short time. The player camp now discovered that the other side was marching towards their main city, but the players were not panicked at all. I couldn't beat you at night because we had fewer people then. Now we have more people during the day. How can I be afraid of you? Question mark. At this time, the number of online people displayed in the game was approaching 2 million, and the number of registered people was approaching 3 million. With this number, it would be no problem to beat your 100,000 troops. In addition, players discovered a mechanism in the game's campaign. Different from the battles with the Kra tribe in the wild, in the campaign, as long as a player in the team causes damage to the enemy, there will be honor points and experience points, but the players who did not participate in the contribution of the team will not get them. If the campaign fails, the experience points and honor points will be doubled, which may be set to compensate for the 1-hour CD. This mechanism almost makes players desperately attack the enemy in all directions. Seeing the enemy's marching movements, the player camp is not surprised but happy, waiting for you. At this time, many players who have rested well are sharpening their knives. Attention everyone. The Japanese invaders have entered the village again. Don't say anything, our soldiers will be the first to rush in. A large wave of experience and honor points are coming to us. Priest, add blood later. Don't rush to the front. Don't you know how fragile you are? Newbie looking for a team. Don't be afraid of death or tiredness. I'm afraid that you are not afraid of death, and will steal my experience. Listen to my brother, and send a message on the command channel. According to the assassin team's reconnaissance, the opponent is not the cavalry as before, but a team composed of two types of soldiers, shield soldiers and infantry, and they have engineering equipment. The estimated arrival time in the main city is 3 hours later. During this period of time, players can freely go offline to eat and sleep, and can also move freely in the game to go out of the city to fight and die. After 3 hours, everyone must be online and on standby in the city. There is no need to be told by the commander. Players who have experienced 2 battles already have a deep understanding of the gameplay of this game. That is, the official will not restrict any behavior of the players, and will not make any data modifications to the enemy camp. The official just wants you to win this battle, no matter what method you use. Even if you make a human bomb yourself, no one will care. At this time, the number of viewers on the game's live broadcast platform and major video websites has skyrocketed again. This game is aimed at me. Why can't I register for the game? The person above is probably underage, and this game is not open to registration for minors. No mistake. 1 song, 1 post, 1 content, 1 book, 1 forum, 1 6, 1 9, 1 book, 1 forum, 1 look. Why do I feel like the other side is going to suffer? The graphics of this game are really amazing, and the degree of freedom is really high. I was having dinner with my girlfriend, and she asked me not to watch the live broadcast. What should I do? Of course, break up. A girlfriend will only affect the speed at which you upgrade. You are happier than me. Your girlfriend can still accompany you for dinner, but my girlfriend stole my virtual warehouse and entered the game herself, leaving me outside to watch the live broadcast. I don't have a girlfriend yet. Seeing that the players who were eager to fight had roughly known the outcome of the battle, Bai Bing said to Hey Bai, do we have the capital to counterattack against them now? Hey Bai, yes, the player base and level have experienced these 2 battles, and we can consider meeting the conditions for a counterattack. Bai Bing, then take a break for 2 days after the battle, and then issue the mainline announcement. The content will be a counterattack against the Kra tribe. As long as we defeat the Kra tribe, we can expand our territory, and the way to upgrade will not be so single. Hey Bai, don't be too optimistic. There are many existences in the world of the game that players can't afford to offend. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15, Confident Denheshi. From the beginning of yesterday's battle to now, major game companies have found that the number of online users of their games has dropped sharply, while the number of registered users and online users of Planet has increased sharply, which has made major companies feel a crisis. An investigation into the game Planet found that Planet can beat all the games on the market in terms of authenticity, freedom, and gameplay. Can you believe that a game that is not on the market beats almost all the games on the market? Exclamation mark. A group of large domestic companies have used their own connections and resources to invest in or acquire this game with unpredictable growth, but they found that the information behind this game is almost blank, and the conclusions they came to are all private creations, completely powered by love. The other party has no revenue channel, does not use your platform, and even if there is no company information, you can't do anything to them. This has led to Bai Bing receiving many bounty messages in the industry's news channels, looking for the developer of this game, and the conditions offered are acquisition, investment, cooperation, etc. Bai Bing ignored it. The general direction of his game will be decided after the person he met arrives. He does not have the energy to deal with so many interactions and industry rules by himself. 3 hours later, the remaining 90,000 troops of the Kra tribe arrived at the wall of the main city of the human race. Shield soldiers suffered few casualties. After all, his troops were almost all tanks. On the contrary, Dan's troops suffered heavy casualties. There was no way. No matter how powerful your infantry was, they could not withstand the players' desperate enthusiasm. I couldn't beat the tanks, but I could beat your infantry. Dan was also a little distressed. She didn't say anything, and issued an order for the shield soldiers to hold large pieces of wood and break the city from all directions of the city gates. The shield soldiers of the Kra tribe resisted the output pressure of the guards and the mage camp, and they just broke open the gate of the main city of the human race. However, the price of this suicidal city break was that these shield soldiers could never return. The players were not panicking. The human commander sent a message: all players at the city gates should be ready. Once the Kra tribe enters the city, they should charge forward. All the mage troops should go down the city wall and prepare to bombard them. Priests should do their own work. If there are shield soldiers on the opposite side, don't think it will be as easy as yesterday. If you can't hold on, all the players should retreat and disperse to various locations in the main city. Assassins, you should set up traps in various places in the main city and then recover on the spot and wait for your team's turn. The next step is the tunnel war. After receiving the message, the players knew the general idea of the battle. After breaking through the city wall, the two arms of the Kra tribe stood together. With the two roars of Dan and Shi, all the combat power of the Kra tribe rushed to the human main city. The shield soldiers raised their shields and put them on their necks to protect themselves and the infantry. The round of volleys from the guards did not cause any effective casualties to the Kra tribe. When they arrived at the city gate, the moment that the player camp had been waiting for a long time also arrived. All the players shouted together, using their shouts to dispel the fear of this real virtual war. All the warriors pushed forward at each city gate, using their bodies to hit the charge of the Kra shield soldiers to slow down their mobility. However, the collision turned many low-level warrior players into light spots. Yes, they died. The priest's healing skills were almost always in the state of raising his hands and never stopped. He took blue medicine while healing. The game does not have high-level medicines yet, or low-level medicines that slowly recover the status. Therefore, in order to keep the blue volume healthy, he started taking medicine at the beginning of the fight. The mage also took medicine while outputting. At this time, they also realized that this battle was not as easy as they had thought before. The protection of a shield soldier could restrain most of their own damage, which gave the opponent's infantry room to output. Fortunately, the shield of the opponent's shield soldier would break after a certain degree of damage, which barely blocked the city gate. The warriors didn't even have time to take drugs. They kept swinging their knives and swords, resisting the charge of the shield soldiers and the attacks of the infantry. Some low-level warrior players even jumped up and hit the opponent's head with their heads after being repelled, causing the opponent to be stunned for a short time so that the back row could output. This war shocked the audience watching the live broadcast for a while. This battle is harder than I thought. Why do I feel like this is really a war? How can a game be made like this? The warrior profession is so pitiful, I decided not to play a warrior anymore. This is the blood of a man, okay? I decided to register as a warrior player, otherwise I will be sorry for my muscular body. This game really shocked me for 100 years. I really can't believe that the battles in a game can be so tragic. I kind of regret that I spent so much money on other games before. Isn't it exciting to play this game? Sorry, this game cannot be played with real money. There is no recharge page, and the official said that it will not be opened in the future. What? Is there still a game that doesn't cut leaks? It seems that they are about to be rushed in, and the players can't stand it. As the audience saw, listening to the brother said that it was right to send a command message at this time. All players retreat, disperse in the form of small teams to find the position of their own team's assassin, and then start guerrilla warfare. The mage players all use the deceleration skills to limit the opponent's actions in tacit understanding, and the warriors ran away without looking back. No mistakes. One post, one content, one post, one book, one forum, 1629, one post. Dan and she followed the large army and rushed into the main city. They were overjoyed to see the retreating players. Charge. Kill them all. This order made their troops disperse. Their goal in this battle was to kill all the human race, but this dispersion was exactly what the player camp wanted. The dispersed Kra tribe took action in the form of one shield soldier and one infantry. Although there were 2 people who could fight and resist, the players were not afraid because there were too many of them, and they were not afraid of death. A team could at least replace one enemy. Even if they couldn't replace them, they could consume most of their blood. Anyway, as long as there was damage contribution, there would be experience points and honor points. The most important thing was that they could be resurrected. I just want to ask you if you are angry. Zun and she smiled deeply when they heard the battle sounds coming from all directions. In their imagination, this battle was almost a crushing defeat. They characterized Zun as a brainless person because of Zun's previous experience. He couldn't even break the city gate because he was held back by the city defense army and was wiped out. Now it was much easier to break in by themselves. At this time, the city guards also launched guerrilla warfare like the players, because the battle regulations stipulated that the city guards were commanded and deployed by the human race during the battle. With the addition of the city guards, the pressure on the human race dropped sharply. After all, the combat power of the level 20 elite NPC is no joke, and the combat ability of a single soldier is not comparable to that of the soldiers of the Kra tribe. After half an hour of fighting, the strength of the Kra tribe dropped from the original 90,000 to less than 50,000. Players can clearly know this situation in the battle information. At this time, Dan Heshi still thought that he had a great advantage and was indifferent. He heard the reduction of the surrounding fighting sounds and thought that his team had eliminated some of the human race. At this point in the battle, the player camp already knew the outcome of the battle. The human race commander was thinking about how to wipe out the opponent. Listen to me, it's right. I don't want to let a Kra tribe devil run away. Chapter 16. See you again. I'm dying of laughter. These 2 guys thought they won. Did you see their expressions? Why does this seem like so familiar? I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. Basic operation. Don't be stupid. Dan and she looked at the closed city gate and the huge crowd of human beings in front of them. They couldn't believe that their troops would actually lose, and they lost so inexplicably. They didn't even know how they lost. Surrender your weapons and you won't be killed. 2nd Battalion Commander. Where's your damn Italian cannon? Should these 2 guys be fried or stewed? Dan and she knew that they were powerless to turn the tide. No matter how good they were at fighting, they would be exhausted to death facing this group of people. However, they were also very clear about the consequences of the defeat of the Kra tribe. Even if they didn't die in the battle, they would still face death if they fled back to the tribe. It would be better to die in the battle. The 2 drew their weapons and prepared to fight to the death and drag a few people down with them. Seeing how reckless these 2 guys were, the players were embarrassed to take action for a while. You looked at me, and I looked at you. The ending is predictable. Dan and she died in battle, and they died in a very aggrieved and inexplicable way. When the two fell, a system announcement appeared. Planet players, this battle has ended. And the battle ended with the victory of the human race, but the leader of the Kra tribe will know this situation soon. At that time, the Kra tribe will attack the human race's main city. Players, please explore the next plot according to the gamma play. With the end of the battle, the players finally breathed a sigh of relief. Although it was a game, this battle still made the players terrified. If it weren't for the fact that the players would turn into light spots when they died, it is estimated that most people would not be able to bear the bloody scene and collapsed. With the end of the battle, the official live broadcast was also stopped, but many people who recorded the screen posted the video on major video websites, once again letting others know about this explosive game. The number of registered game players increased again. Bai Bing was neither sad nor happy when he saw the increase in the number of registered players. The increase in the number of players was certain, and there would only be more and more in the future. No other game could compare to Planet. However, as the number of players increased, pressure would follow. In this case, once a game company was established, it would certainly face siege from major game companies, and it could only act according to circumstances. Many players in the game were also close to level 20. Almost half of the old players had exchanged for a complete set of blue suits, and the remaining old players were similar. As long as they disgusted the Kra tribe a few times, they could accumulate honor points, which made the old players very happy. The only thing left was to strive for level 20 full time. Compared with the old players, the new players were envious. New players who had not experienced the first battle could not exchange for a complete set. They wanted to spend money, but there was no recharge entrance. They wanted to give up the game, but were reluctant to give up this era-defining game. After playing Planet, the players found that any other game was no longer in their eyes, and they had no choice but to follow the old players to disgust the Kra tribe. At night, Bai Bing bought food, cleaned up the house, opened a bottle of red wine, and poured it out to wake up, opened the door, and then sat in the living room to browse a game forum, as if waiting for some guests. Not long after, Bai Bing heard the sound of the elevator, and smiled as he looked towards the door. Several familiar faces appeared in front of him. Bai Bing smiled as he stood up, and walked to the door, and hugged the three people who came one by one, saying with a smile, "Come on, I've bought the food, and we'll cook it when you come." Peng Cheng, who entered the house first, said, "The four of us brothers are together again." Huang Yiwei followed in and continued, "Why did you call us here so urgently, youngest brother? Fortunately, my girlfriend knows you, otherwise she would be jealous again." Wang Yinglang said speechlessly, "Come on, you change your girlfriend more frequently than I change my clothes. If I were your girlfriend, I would castrate you with a knife." Huang Yiwei retorted, "Shut up, you old virgin." Bai Bing smiled and interrupted them, "Come in first, I'm hungry when you're waiting for you. Let's cook quickly, brother Long. It's up to you to cook. After all, you are a professional. Let me cook." At this time, a familiar voice came. Bai Bing was stunned for a moment, and then looked behind everyone, only to see a beautiful and tall figure appear in front of him. Peng Cheng said, "We met at the airport. She happened to be on the same flight as Pan Hang. She heard that we were coming to your house for a party, so she came along." Everyone saw Bai Bing's helplessness after being surprised. Huang Yiwei said, "Okay, brother Long, go cook. I'm starving. I haven't eaten since I got on the plane." Wang Yinglang also saw the clues. The three of them entered Bai Bing's house together and did their own things very familiarly. Peng Cheng went to the coffee table by the French window to make tea. Huang Yiwei poured himself a glass of red wine and started to taste it, and Wang Yinglang went straight into the kitchen and rolled up his sleeves. Pan Hang stood at the door and asked with a smile, "Why, you don't seem to welcome me?" Bai Bing touched his nose and said, "No, I just didn't expect you to come. Why don't you invite me in to sit down?" Bai Bing stepped aside, and Pan Hang walked into the house lightly. Looking at the three people who were either rummaging through drawers or entertaining themselves, she laughed. "How come they are so familiar with your house?" Bai Bing explained, "It's normal. They have been here countless times before, and many things in the house were bought by them." Pan Hang looked at the three people who had changed into slippers, and then looked at the high heels she was wearing. "Do I need to change into slippers too?" Bai Bing waved her hand. No, these slippers originally belonged to them. No one else has been here except them, so we didn't prepare extra slippers. Just come in. Pan Hong looked at Bai Bing with a smile. So no other girls have come in either? Bai Bing did not give a direct answer, but pointed to the crowd. If you want to have tea and chat, go to the dormitory head. If you want to drink and brag, go find the second brother. Let the third brother work alone in the kitchen. No mistake. One poem, one post, one content, one book, one forum, one six, one book, one forum. Pan Hong said, no, please take me to visit your house. I didn't know you bought a house after graduation. Bai Bing, just look around for yourself. There's nothing shameful in my house. Pan Hong glanced at the person in front of him, replied with an okay, and then slowly walked around to visit. Bai Bing sat down in front of Peng Cheng and took a sip of tea. Peng Cheng smiled and said, how is it? Are you touched to see you again? Bai Bing, not much. After all, it's been so many years. What should have passed is over. I just didn't expect you to bring her along. Peng Cheng, I can't refuse, since she has asked. After all, we had a pretty good relationship at the beginning. Bai Bing, boss, what have you been doing at home these 2 years? Peng Cheng, I do things that interest me. We have money in our fund. I go to a training institution every day to tutor some children to kill time. Huang Yue walked over and smiled. You know that the eldest brother likes children. Didn't he say before that he would open a welfare home after he retired? Bai Bing turned around and looked at Wang Yinglang and smiled. Is brother Long still single? Huang Yue laughed out loud. Otherwise, you know that the third brother has been a single dog for thousands of years. He will stutter when he sees a girl he likes. He once told me on the phone that he went on a blind date and saw a good-looking woman, but he didn't know how to talk to her. The woman thought he had a language barrier and left on the spot. Wang Yinglang, who was busy in the kitchen at this time, shouted, slut, stop talking. I can hear you. Huang Yue shouted in response, I've told you, you old virgin, how many times? Don't call me a slut. Wang Yinglang, I've told you, you old virgin, how many times? Don't call me a slut. Bai Bing and Peng Cheng lowered their heads and shook their heads with helpless smiles. These two guys always quarrel with each other every time they meet. Chapter 17 Shocked roommates. Bai Bing and the other four were having dinner at home, chatting about all sorts of interesting things that happened during college. Everyone was chatting very enthusiastically. The dormitory head Peng Cheng talked about the embarrassing things that happened to the 3 people in the dormitory at school. Huang Yue and Wang Yinglang occasionally quarreled with each other. Pan Hong listened to the interesting things and occasionally interjected. Most of the time, she was smiling while eating and looking at everyone. However, her eyes stayed on Bai Bing's face the longest, and Bai Bing pretended not to see it. After eating and drinking, Pan Hong smiled and said, Brother Long, I didn't expect your cooking skills are still so good after so many years. Wang Yinglang habitually answered, that's right, you don't know, sister-in-law, I. After saying that, he realized that he had said the wrong thing, and the remaining 3 roommates looked at him speechlessly. Pan Hong glanced at Bai Bing, and after finding that there was nothing unusual on the latter's expression, she smiled and said, it's okay, I don't mind. Peng Cheng hurriedly changed the subject. Youngest, why did you call us here this time? Don't tell me you just wanted to get together. Bai Bing, no hurry, let's talk about it when we go out for barbecue tonight. In fact, Bai Bing didn't want to say it, but it was inconvenient for her to say it when she saw Pan Hong here. After all, the fewer people who knew what she was about to say, the better. Pan Hong understood what she meant, stood up and said, the 4 of you go to the living room and gather for a while. I'll clean up and wash the dishes. Bai Bing stood up and said, no need, let us do it. Pan Hong, it's okay. I took care of you every time you got drunk at a party before. Bai Bing didn't know what to say for a moment. Pan Hong smiled and said, if you feel embarrassed, just pay me back the money you made me pay the bill every time you got drunk. Huang Yue saw Bai Bing's embarrassment and said, okay, I'll pay you back the principal and interest, ha 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 ha. Pan Hong glanced at Huang Yue and said, next time you have the chance, just treat me to a meal. You should keep the money for your girlfriend. Wang Yinglang immediately laughed out loud. Huang Yiwei stared at him threateningly, but the latter remained indifferent. The four of them came to the living room. Peng Cheng made some tea and said, "Tell me, what's so shameful?" "Bai Bing, you've heard of the game Planet, right?" Everyone nodded. Huang Yiwei said, "The game you mentioned is a hit in the gaming circle. All game companies are looking for the developer of this game, but I heard that the developer of this game is a private developer with no company background. But I don't think it's likely. After all, it's almost impossible for an individual to make a game of this size." Bai Bing, they are right. This game was indeed developed privately. The three of them were not fools. Bai Bing's words already had some meaning of conveying information. Peng Cheng put down his teacup and asked, "Do you know this developer?" Looking at the gazes of the three people, Bai Bing pointed at himself with his thumb. "I'm the developer of the game Planet." Huang Yiwei stood up in shock. "What did you say? Did you develop Planet? When did you develop this game? How come we don't know?" Wang Yinglang rarely did not confront Huang Yiwei because he could not digest the news for a while. After all, Peng Cheng was the dormitory head and was more stable. "You are not kidding, are you? Do you know what this game means? It is the future giant of the gaming industry." "Bai Bing, I'm not kidding. I'm indeed the current owner of this game, and I asked you to come here just for this game." "Peng Cheng, since you didn't tell us when you were developing it, we won't ask you how you developed this game. I just want to know, do you hold all or part of it? All?" Hearing Bai Bing's answer, the three of them took a breath of cold air. Huang Yiwei said, "You can't make a game of this size by yourself. Without several years of development and a large amount of capital investment, you will never make such a game." Peng Cheng interrupted, "Do you want to make a comeback?" Bai Bing nodded. "We will make a comeback, purify the current corrupt gaming environment, and create a healthy gaming ecology that conforms to our philosophy." Wang Yinglang, what do you plan to do? Bai Bing, I registered a game studio and a game company. I plan to put the game into the studio and then cooperate with the game company. Huang Yiwei was surprised and said, "What you are doing is equivalent to declaring war on all domestic game companies. Their consistent philosophy is that you are either a friend or an enemy." Wang Yinglang, your game has already had more than 3 million registered users before it's even launched. Have you ever thought about how many users will be there once it's launched? Bai Bing, at least tens of millions. Peng Cheng shook his head. You underestimate your game. No other game on the market can compete with it. Hundreds of millions is the minimum. You will be under a lot of pressure. Bai Bing smiled and looked at everyone. That's why I asked you to come here. I believe that the concept we had when we founded Miffy can be realized through Planet. Pan Hong packed up and came out to see everyone whispering with their heads down and said, "Are you done talking? I've packed up everything." The four looked at Pan Hong and knew that they couldn't continue talking. Peng Cheng stood up and said, "Then we'll leave too. We'll talk again tomorrow when we meet. No mistakes in one song, one post, one content, one 6, one book, one bar, one look." Pan Hong said, "No, you can continue chatting. I'll go down by myself. It's rare for you four brothers to meet once." Huang Yiwei said speechlessly, "I guess we will have many opportunities to meet in the future. Now the most urgent thing is to go to the pharmacy to buy some tranquilizer pills." Wang Yinglang didn't say anything, but took a big sip of tea and stood up to pick up his coat. Peng Cheng turned around and asked, "By the way, when will your company and studio be settled?" Bai Bing, "Tomorrow." "Okay, see you tomorrow then." Pan Hong suddenly said, "Bai Bing, have you changed your phone number? Is it the same as before?" Bai Bing nodded and said, "No." Pan Hong handed over his mobile phone and said, "I changed mine. I'll call you, and you can save my number." After sending everyone down the elevator, Bai Bing returned home and asked, "How many people have registered?" "Hey Bai, nearly 4 million, and it continues to grow." Bai Bing looked at the scenery outside the window. The next battle is going to be a tough one, and he hopes to get through it. "Hey Bai, in fact, the things you and your roommates are worried about are not a problem. I can help you solve them. To me, your worries are just the embers of my spare time, which can be put out with a bowl of water." Bai Bing smiled and said, "I know, but ideals have to be realized by yourself to be meaningful. Hey Bai, the most urgent thing is that you have to help me collect soul points. I bleed in this battle. Bai Bing was speechless and did not say a word. This money slave. No, it is this soul value slave. Chapter 18, the eve of establishment. Maybe because of being drunk last night, Bai Bing woke up at noon the next day. When he opened his phone, he saw a friend request from Pan Hang. The ID was. Bai Bing knew it was Pan Hang. After thinking for a while, he accepted it. As soon as he accepted it, the other party sent a message. Why did you accept it now? Did you steal last night? Bai Bing, I slept last night and just woke up now. Pan Hang, unlike you, you used to be a night owl. When I forced you not to stay up late, you always pretended to obey. Bai Bing, people always change. Pan Hang, have you changed? Bai Bing didn't know how to reply for a while. He stared blankly at the content sent by the other party on his phone and was entangled. The other party sent another message. Do you want to start a company? Bai Bing, yes. Pan Hang, what? Bai Bing, game industry. The two chatted like this. Basically Pan Hang asked questions and Bai Bing answered them. They chatted for an entire afternoon. A phone call suddenly came in. Bai Bing answered and asked, is it done? Lawyer Yi, it's all done. I'll ask someone to send the information to President Bai now. After hanging up the phone, Bai Bing opened the dormitory group and sent a message. The company and the studio have been done, and I will start tomorrow. The second brother Huang Yi, you are too fast. I just rented a house. I have to take a breath, even if I hang myself. The youngest brother Bai Bing, this kind of matter should be done sooner rather than later. The more time we give other companies to prepare, the more disadvantageous it is for us. The eldest brother Peng Cheng, got it. We will come to your place in the evening for a face-to-face interview. The second brother Huang Yi, brother Long, you will be responsible for preparing food. The third brother Wang Yinglang did not reply. This is his habit. He is basically the one who prepares food for every gathering. Every time he is asked to prepare food in the group, he does not reply, thinking he can get away with it. As a result, everyone assumes that he has agreed, resulting in him being responsible for preparing food for every gathering. Huang Yi also complained, you are a single guy and you don't have much time for dating. If you don't do it, who will? Wait until he gets a girlfriend. This sentence made Wang Yinglang finding a girlfriend a paranoid thing for a time. At 6 o'clock in the evening, the four people in the dormitory looked at the documents placed on the table. Huang Yi picked up 2 business licenses, Black and White Game Studio, Black and White Game Co Limited. Bai Bing lied, turning black into white. Don't you think this kind of thing is very challenging? Huang Yi rolled his eyes, and Bai Bing continued, I will manage the studio, and the game company depends on you three. You, the eldest brother, will be the general manager, responsible for the overall situation of the company internally, and you, the second brother, will be the deputy general manager, responsible for external socializing. Brother Long, you are also the deputy general manager, do what you are best at. Huang Yi smiled and said, yes, you are responsible for cleaning and wiping tables and so on. Wang Yinglang raised his foot, as if to kick him, and Bai Bing smiled and said, you are responsible for all the personnel of the company. As for who to use, and who to recruit, I don't care. You three only have to do one thing. Peng Cheng sighed and glanced at the business license in his hand. Help you withstand the pressure, right? Bai Bing nodded, and Peng Cheng continued to ask, will the time be too tight? Bai Bing shook his head, also looking at the information in his hand, and joked, no, the second brother's house has been rented, and it's time to kick out the untidy tenants. At night, Bai Bing was lying on the bed alone and said, can you erase all my personal information on the internet? Hey Bai, most of it can be erased, but not all. If all of it is erased, it means that you don't exist. Bai Bing, I know, help me erase it. I want to make sure that no one can find my information, except the country and people who know me. Hey Bai, okay. Bai Bing dialed Yang Yifu's number. After the latter answered the phone, he was a little stammering. Mr. Bai, what a rare guest. Why did you think of calling me? Bai Bing knew, as soon as he heard it, that Yang Yifu had been drinking, and was probably out socializing. Mr. Yang, I'm sorry to bother you. I want to ask if my office is renovated? Yang Yifu, wait a minute, I'm having dinner with the person in charge. I'll ask him. After a while, Yang Yifei said, "It's done. I told them to rush the work before, and these bastards worked overtime these days to get it done." Bai Bing understood what Yang Yifei meant. Under normal circumstances, it would be impossible to get it done in such a short time. It seemed that Yang Yifei was serious. Although it was a business deal, the favor was owed. Bai Bing, "Thank you, Mr. Yang. I'm a little anxious to use it. I have no choice. The company will be established tomorrow." Yang Yifei laughed and said, "It doesn't matter. What industry are you going to get involved in?" Bai Bing, "My old business, making games." Yang Yifei, "Then Mr. Bai, please tell me the name of the game when it's done. I will also support Mr. Bai. No mistake. 1 post, 1 content, 1619, 1 book, 1 bar." Bai Bing hesitated for a moment and decided to tell Yang Yifei. After all, he knew him. If he didn't know tonight, he would know tomorrow. This kind of action could not be hidden from someone like him who has all the power and eyes. It just so happened that he needed an ally. If Yang Yifei made friends with him, he should be able to share some of the pressure. "Thank you, Mr. Yang. My game is already done. There are already players, but it hasn't been put on the shelves yet." Mr. Bai is really decisive. "What's the name of the game? I have to go in and buy some top-notch equipment." Bai Bing, "The game is called Planet, but Mr. Yang may be disappointed. My game is not pay to win. There is no recharge entrance." At this time, the other end of the phone was silent for a while, and then the noisy environment on the phone suddenly became quiet. It was probably because Yang Yifei found a place where no one was there. "Are you talking about the planet I was thinking of? If there are no other games with this name, then it should be the one you were thinking of." Yang Yifei was silent for a while and said, "Mr. Bai, you really treat me as a friend. You dare to tell me this kind of news? Do you know that all major game companies are looking for your development team now?" Bai Bing, "This news will also be announced tomorrow. I just told you a day in advance. It's harmless." Yang Yifei is a smart man, so he naturally knows what Bai Bing means. "Mr. Bai, don't worry, I won't tell anyone else." Bai Bing, "Okay, then I won't bother Mr. Yang. We'll have dinner together when there is a chance." Yang Yifei exchanged a few polite words and hung up the phone. After hanging up the phone, Yang Yifei was half sober, then returned to the room and asked the construction manager, "Are you sure that the unit on the 20th floor of Huan building has been completed without any mistakes?" The person in charge was stunned for a moment. Didn't he just confirm it? Why did he ask again? "Don't worry, Mr. Yang, there is really no problem, because it is a task assigned by you. I will supervise it personally. This kind of project is not large, and I have done a lot of it." Yang Yifei continued to ask, "What about the supporting facilities? How about the computer desks and chairs? Are they ready?" The person in charge said, "They are all ready. They are all the best quality from our supporting company. We give them at cost price. You have explained it before." Yang Yifei said, "Except for the decoration fee, have you signed a contract for the rest of the money?" Person in charge, "No, you said it was not urgent, so I didn't ask." Yang Yifei nodded. "Except for the decoration fee, the other party does not need to settle other expenses. Also, you prepare 2 large flower baskets for me tomorrow and send them to that unit in my personal name. The content should say that the business is booming and the money is coming in." The person in charge rarely saw Yang Yifei like this and hurriedly took out his phone to make arrangements. Chapter 19 Unexpected Visitors. The next morning, all players received an official announcement. "Planet players, the 2 battles have made the leader of the Kra tribe aware of the threat of the human race. After 2 battles, the players have initially formed the combat power to fight the Kra tribe head-on. In the coming days, the Kra tribe will launch a full-scale war against the human camp. Please explore according to the gamma play." The players of the Black and White Game Studio development team did not pay attention to this announcement at first, thinking that it was just an ordinary change in the main task. Later, they found that the note behind it was actually the studio development team. This not only surprised the players, but also helped major game companies find the direction. The comment area immediately opened up a discussion about the studio. "Great news, the development team of Planet has self-destructed. Strongly request to open a Krypton Gold page. Go to the studio to block the door and form a team." 1/ Where did this black and white studio come from? Why haven't I heard of it before? I just checked online. This company was just established yesterday. Can you believe it? The game is online. Can you believe that the studio was only established yesterday? This is really a power generation with love. Compared with the stupid netizens on the internet, major game companies immediately checked the studio thoroughly, but the information they got was still very little. Only the establishment time of this studio and the legal person was a person called Bai Bing. Although there is little information about the company, many people are familiar with Bai Bing. Many people know that he is one of the founders of Miffy. After being sidelined by Miffy in the past 2 years, many people thought that he would quietly withdraw from the stage of history, but unexpectedly, he was holding back a big move. Many people only know Bai Bing, but many have never seen him. There is almost no trace of this person on the internet, not even a photo. But don't forget that Bai Bing is one of the founders of the large game company Miffy. Many people have his phone number, but Bai Bing's work phone has been ringing at this time, but he has never answered it. Fortunately, he doesn't know his personal number. This is the benefit of distinguishing work from personal. Bai Bing got up and drove to Huan building. When he passed the door, he saw a group of reporters blocked outside the door. He smiled and ignored them. After arriving at the underground parking lot, he got out of the car and met with the other 3. After arriving at the 20th floor, he found 3 people standing at the door, namely Yang Yifei, Liao Bin, the general manager of Miffy, and Liang Xin, the general manager of Haneda. The 3 roommates knew the latter too, but obviously didn't want to show up. Now the company's top brother is Bai Bing. Bai Bing first shook hands with Yang Yifei and said with a smile, "I'm flattered that Mr. Yang is here to guide me today." Yang Yifei smiled. "Don't joke with me, Mr. Bai. Your 20 floors will shake up the industry in the future. I'm here to make myself familiar with you so that I can have more benefits in the future." Bai Bing knew that the other party was joking. "Come, let me introduce you. These 3 are my partners in the management of this company. We are also roommates in college." Yang Yifei was not surprised at all. Obviously, he had already checked Bai Bing's background. After exchanging business cards with the 3 people, Bai Bing continued, "This is Liao Bin, the general manager of Miffy, and this is Liang Xin, the general manager of Haneda. The 2 of them are the pillars of our Yangcheng game industry." Liang Xin smiled and said, "That was the case in the past, but now with President Bai, I guess I won't even have a chance to enjoy the benefits in the future." Liao Bin said, "Old Bai, your decision to quit Miffy was obviously a wrong one. If you had stayed at Miffy, your game plan it would have definitely dominated the game industry." Bai Bing smiled and said, "Different concepts." Then he said to Yang Yifei, "President Yang, you don't have to spend money to come as a guest next time. I haven't notified anyone, but your flower basket arrived before us. That's thoughtful of you." The implication was to tell Liao Bin and Liang Xin that they could be guests and chat, but nothing else. Liang Xin smiled and said, "I'm not here to discuss business, I'm here to ask for your autograph." Everyone looked at Liang Xin in confusion, and the latter said, "I'm here to take care of my sister's mission. She is a loyal fan of your game. After seeing your announcement this morning, she found out that it was you. Obviously, she knows you, and asked me to get your autograph. She told me that her game ID is called Listen to Me. It's correct." Bai Bing was stunned for a moment, then laughed and said, "I didn't expect it to be her. It was beyond my expectation." Bai Bing greeted everyone and came to the office. Looking at the neat office environment in front of him, he was very satisfied. Bai Bing thanked Yang Yifei again, and the latter waved his hand to say that it was okay. Yang Yifei knew the grievances of everyone present and smiled and said, "I came here to express congratulations. After the congratulations, I will say goodbye. I will ask someone to send some fruit snacks and the like. The first day of the company's establishment still needs to have an atmosphere." Bai Bing, in theory, I should give you a red envelope in this atmosphere, but I didn't prepare a red envelope. How about having lunch together at noon? Yang Yifei agreed and left. This kind of business quarrel was none of his business. As soon as Yang Yifei left, Liao Bin said, "Liao Bai, you really gave us a surprise." Huang Yiwei said, Liao, what do you want to say?" No mistakes. One post, one content, one 6, one book, one bar. Bai Bing, it is impossible for you to develop this game in a year or two. How long have you been away from Miffy? It is absolutely impossible to make a game of this size in such a short time. Don't you know what I mean? You are violating the industry code. Huang Yue immediately retorted, violating the industry code? When you capitalists sidelined the four of us, stole our game results, and rested on our credits, why didn't you think about whether you violated the industry code? Bai Bing waved her hand to signal that there was no need to argue, and said, first of all, let's not talk about whether I violated the industry code. If we talk about it, we all know who we are. I understand that you came here with a mission. Saying these things seems cheap. I will tell you the answer now. Bai Bing, you talk, I listen. First, I don't plan to make a profit through in-game crypt and gold activities, so there is no violation as you said. Second, even if I violated the industry code, the standard is that I privately developed products that are not conducive to the same industry as the company I work for during my tenure. Don't talk about whether I did it or not. Even if I violated it, what proof do you have? I just own this game. Can it prove that I developed this game? Seeing Bai Bing said this, Bai Bing sighed and said, you know my situation. If you were someone we didn't know, it would be fine. But you happened to be someone who left our Miffy, and you pressed us on the pillar of shame not long after you left. At the beginning of this morning, the stock price of the head office fell directly. I don't know how much it has fallen now. It's difficult for me. Peng Cheng said, so what is the task that Miffy gave you? Bai Bing, to win the agency rights of the game from you. Huang Yue laughed instead of being angry. Then what? Use your unique faces to cut leaks from the players again. Bai Bing, I still say the same thing. We have different concepts. Bai Bing has worked with the four people before and knows their personalities. He didn't say anything and left with his reply. Liang Xin rarely saw the general manager of Miffy being humiliated, so he smiled without saying anything. After Bai Bing left, Liang Xin also knew Bai Bing's attitude from the conversation between the two just now. He also didn't say much. He said a few polite congratulations and left. Wang Yinglang saw a group of reporters under the window and was still reluctant to leave. I don't know if this situation will affect the interview in the afternoon. Bai Bing didn't ask. The next thing was the business of the three roommates. He tried to get out of it as much as possible. After making an appointment at the restaurant and notifying Yang Yefei of the location, the four of them left the company. Chapter 20 The Last Battle of the Kra Tribe. That night, Bai Bing returned home and found that the players in the game and the team that had spontaneously formed had begun to discuss the Kra people. It was not ordinary harassment, but harassment that was carried out 24 hours a day without any blind spots. If it was a fight, the Kra people would accept it, but some teams with lower levels knew that they could not fight head on, so they threw stones at the opponent's camp at night, which made the Kra people unable to sleep. Later, it was found that this group of human players only knew how to throw stones, and they planned to ignore it and continue to sleep, but they found that the opponent stopped throwing stones and changed to throwing torches and setting fires. Several people from the Kra people were almost burned to death. Some players were even more excessive, singing outside the Kra camp in the middle of the night, and they sang high notes. The most uncomfortable thing was that he couldn't sing the high notes, but insisted on singing. Some player teams were brave and rushed in without any care, but were chopped down by the opponent in a few seconds. The surrounding players were still commenting that this behavior was not advisable, and the strategy of the Japanese could only be outsmarted and not attacked by force. The Kra people saw that this group of humans didn't care about the death of their companions, and some of them even showed contempt on their faces. This made the Kra people confused. Why did the style of the humans become like this? Bai Bing was bored at home and watched the stupid behavior of the players to relieve his boredom. At this time, a message suddenly came, and the sender was Pan Hong. Are you asleep? If you're not asleep, how about going out for a midnight snack? Bai Bing hesitated for a while. Okay, come down. I'm downstairs at your house. Seeing Pan Hong's message, Bai Bing was stunned for a moment, walked to the balcony, and saw Yiren standing downstairs, as if he saw the person who was waiting for him downstairs in college, but unfortunately he couldn't go back. The two walked in the night, and no one spoke. Seeing a barbecue restaurant with a relatively hygienic environment, Pan Hong said before Bai Bing could say anything, "Let's go here." After sitting down, Pan Hong picked up the menu and took a look, then ordered food to the waiter. After the waiter left, Pan Hong said, "I remember you used to like to eat these. I wonder if your taste has changed." Bai Bing, "It doesn't matter. I'm not picky now. I can eat anything." Pan Hong, "Aren't you curious about where I've been all these years?" "To be honest, I was very curious at first, but your friends and girlfriends all said they didn't know, so I naturally had no idea." "What about now? You've let it go." "My impression of the situation back then is a little vague." Pan Hong smiled and said, "The company is established today. How is it? Is it very similar to when you first started your business?" Bai Bing recalled, "It's different. When we started our business, we had a hard time. We almost had no food to eat. Sometimes we didn't even have time to eat in order to attract investment and run business. But you are also successful. When we were in school, you always told your roommates that you would start a business together after graduation. At that time, I thought you were bragging. It was unexpected that we could succeed in starting a business. We had given up at one point." Pan Hong asked curiously, "Then how did you persevere?" Bai Bing thought for a moment. "Ideal. Thinking about making the game I wanted for the public. I still remember the night the game was successfully launched. Only the boss and I were in the company. Huang Yue had to be hospitalized for gastric bleeding due to drinking while running business, so Brother Long took him to the hospital. Later in the middle of the night, the boss and I also rushed to the hospital. Seeing Huang Yue still flirting with the nurse, the boss was angry and amused. That night, the three of us were playing landlord in the hospital corridor." Pan Hong was silent for a while. "It's a pity that I was not with you at the time." Bai Bing did not respond. Pan Hong asked, "Did you hate me at that time?" "No, you made the right choice for yourself at the time. I can't blame you." "Have you missed me all these years?" Bai Bing touched his nose. "At the beginning, I did, and then." Pan Hong smiled. "Do you know that you have a bad habit? Every time you lie, you touch your nose." Bai Bing was stunned for a moment, then laughed. "No wonder you ate me so hard back then. I thought you bribed the people in my dormitory to betray me." At this time, the waiter brought the cooked food, and the two of them ate. Pan Hong poured 2 glasses of wine and raised their glasses. "Mr. Bai, I wish your company will be successful in the future." Bai Bing also raised his glass and clinked it with her and smiled. "I also wish you to be forever 18 years old and stay young forever." "Wouldn't that make me an old witch?" In Planet, in the deepest part of the Kra tribe camp, the chief Xin Yang was sitting under the sacrificial rock in deep thought, and he said to himself at the stone tablet carved by his ancestors on the wall, "Ancestors, this battle will be the same as in the past. I will break the human flag and bring it back, just like in the past, to prove my majesty as the chief of the Kra tribe." The guards at the door stood silently, as if they were accustomed to their chief's behavior. Obviously, this was not the first time the chief had done this. Obviously, every race would behave like this before every battle. Soon, Xinjiang came out of the sacrificial place and said in a low voice, "Tell all the tribal leaders in the tribe to gather their troops. When the crows scream tonight, we will attack the main city of the human race." The guard nodded and disappeared into the corridor. I don't know if it was expected or coincidental. At 12 o'clock in the evening, there were only more than 200,000 online players in the player camp. Most of them were offline and resting. The remaining players were doing tasks in the main city and ambushing the Kra people in the wild. Only a few players were around the Kra camp to discuss them. The crows in the sky suddenly screamed. The players didn't pay attention to the screams of the crows at first, but later they found something wrong, because there were too many crows. Until finally, the crows were circling over the Kra camp. Why are there so many crows? I have a bad feeling. No mistakes. One post, one content, one book, one forum. As the crow's cries reached a climax, Xinjiang in the deep of the camp opened his eyes. If you look closely, you can find that his eyes are exactly the same as the crow's. Bai Bing opened his eyes with Xinjiang. Henny Bay woke Bai Bing up and said, the Kra tribe is preparing to launch an attack. There are only more than 200,000 online players in the game now, and the enemy has reached 300,000. Bai Bing stood up hurriedly and said, immediately post a game announcement and post a message on the forum to inform the players that they cannot defend the city during this period. The announcement in the game and an official post that suddenly appeared on the forum had the same content. Planet players, the Kra tribe is gathering troops and will immediately launch a campaign against the human race's main city. This campaign is the final battle between the human race and the Kra tribe. The Kra tribe has 300,000 troops in this battle. If the player camp fails in this campaign, the game will be suspended indefinitely. Everyone in the game was stunned when they saw this announcement. This is poisonous. They chose to come in the middle of the night again. And there are 300,000 of them at once. What time is it now? How do you want us to defend? I was just getting ready to go to bed. I have to work overtime tomorrow. Stop talking. Ask your friends to go online. The number of people online now is at most 300,000. Let's fight them before the Japanese arrive. Don't panic. Just follow the steps as you did before the commander came online. Hurry up. On the forum, Bai Bing started the game live broadcast again. The people who entered the live broadcast room were very relaxed at first. Fighting again. The game officials are very good at making trouble. There is a battle every 2 or 3 days. No, look at the ratio of the number of people in the battle. What the hell? 300,000 Kra people against 300,000 players? We can't win, right? Be more confident. Remove the in question marks. We definitely can't win. Okay. I'm online now. Everyone hurry up. If we can't win, the dog officials may really shut down the service. No way. Will they really shut down? The damned officials don't even care about your Krypton gold. So they are afraid of shutting down your server? I have to go online in the middle of the night. Damned officials. Ditto. Fucked officials. I'm done scolding. I'm online now. Chapter 21. It's midnight again. The difficulty of this battle lies in tonight. The number of people online during the day the next day can ease the attack of the Kra tribe, but now it is still a few hours before dawn. However, the entire Kra tribe army has already set out. Fortunately, the marching speed of the army is limited, and it can still be delayed for a while in the wild. At 1 o'clock in the middle of the night, I heard that almost all the strong players on the level list were online, and there were also players online one after another, but the number of online players in the player camp still did not exceed 400,000. This battle is still difficult to delay. My beauty sleep. Is this game poisonous? Every time it makes a big move in the middle of the night. Can't it be more humane? Liang Ting cursed angrily, but still applied for the battle command application, and it was almost passed in seconds like last time. Liang Ting's command has now been recognized by the vast majority of people. The previous defense actions were all spontaneous behaviors of the players. Now that there is a command, she finally calmed down a little. Liang Ting sent a message on the command channel. All players participating in the battle should go out of the city to resist. Players who are doing quests and those who are not participating in quests are also expected to participate as soon as possible. This battle is related to the suspension of the game, and all players are requested to donate their precious time. Liang Ting followed the large army to the forest outside the city. Seeing that assassin players kept sending messages about the situation of the Kra tribe on the world channel, Liang Ting sent a message. All troops should spread out to form a U-shaped position. After the Kra tribe army enters, the soldiers should be the first to go up. Your task is to defeat the enemies transporting siege weapons. Even if you die, you must hold them back. After receiving the message, all players dispersed and stood. Liang Ting continued, all mage troops use deceleration skills. Priests don't need to increase the blood volume of warriors. In this case, they can't add it. Use output skills to help warriors defeat the enemies transporting siege weapons. The same goes for assassin players. There is no need to hide this time, just rush in. Received. Come on. You will be a hero again an hour after you die. Finally, my great assassin has a place to use his skills. Liang Ting asked in the command channel at this time, are there any level 20 players who have successfully changed their jobs? After Liang Ting asked, she found that there was not a single full-time player. Bai Bing was also stunned when she saw this situation and hurriedly asked Hey Bai what was going on. Hey Bai, you have to plan the player's job change yourself. After all, players are not real creatures in this world. I can't make up a growth direction for them out of thin air. You have to give them a career plan and growth direction so that I can make full-time data. Bai Bing was so angry that his liver hurt. Why don't you go to bed early? Hey Bai said innocently, even if you say it earlier, it's too late. The job change task cannot be completed in 1 or 2 days. Liang Ting was also confused at this time. What the hell, there is no one. Or the full-time people are asleep and not online. It's impossible. There are more than 400,000 people now. There is no need to worry about so much. When the enemy comes, the general will stop the water. When the water comes, the earth will cover it. Bai Bing was paying attention to the battle situation. Suddenly, a caller message came in his work phone. He found that the caller was Liao Bin. After picking up the phone, the other party said directly, Old Bai, what do you mean? Do you think the company's stock price has not fallen badly enough? Or do you think I'm not miserable enough? What do you want to do in the middle of the night? Bai Bing was stunned for a moment before he realized what he meant. This guy thought that he wanted to make the stock price of Miffy plunge the next day, so he did this in the middle of the night. But for a moment, he didn't know how to explain it. He just said, you dialed the wrong number. Then he hung up the phone and turned it off. As soon as the Crummy entered the encirclement, Xinjiang smelled the crisis. As usual, players suddenly rushed out from all directions. Some warriors once again hit the enemy with their bodies, and some warriors flexibly dodged and wanted to quickly enter the enemy's siege weapons. However, there were too many people in the Kra tribe, and he didn't let any of them in. Xinjiang saw the idea of the human race and ordered the troops to resist the opponent's charge and kill all the human race. Unlike previous battles, where the enemy was defeated in seconds, this time the high-level warriors at the front were evenly matched with the frontline forces of the Kra tribe, and the damage dealt by the mage players and priest players in the back row was unexpectedly high. This situation was unexpected by the players in the player camp. It was great. The players who had risen in level finally formed a group. This wave was strong. When the assassin players saw that the warrior players could not rush in, a few of them rushed up directly. When they reached the confrontation point between the two tribes, they jumped up directly, stepped on the shoulders of the warriors, flexibly crossed the front row of the Kra tribe, and easily reached the siege weapons. The rest of the assassin players followed suit when they saw this operation. For a while, many assassins jumped in like playing whack-a-mole, stepping on the shoulders of the warrior players and the heads of the Kra tribe. Good job, brother. Step on me hard. Don't be polite. Next time, I'll get angry with anyone who says assassins are useless in battles. Kill them. The Kra tribe soldiers who can use siege weapons are all short talents. When assassin players saw these little guys, they thought they were their pets at first, but later they realized that they were the siege soldiers of the Kra tribe. The assassins quickly killed the little friends with 2 slashes, and higher level assassins with suits even killed them with 1 slash. By the time the Kra tribe reacted, 1/3 of the talents of their own race had been killed. Xinjiang shouted angrily, kill these rats. The Kra tribe who reacted all rushed to the assassins. Although the assassin profession has high damage, it is very fragile. Only a very small number of people escaped from the siege of the Kra tribe. The rest of the people saw that they could not escape and chose to exchange their lives with the siege talents. No mistakes in one poem, one post, one content, 1619, one book, one forum. Take a look. Liang Ting saw that part of the siege weapons was damaged. She knew that they would have to stay in place to repair them before they could set off again. The repair would take at least half an hour to an hour. She immediately sent a message on the command channel. All players, fight and retreat. It will take time for them to repair the siege weapons. We will wait for them to finish and then ambush them. Just drag it out until dawn. The players followed the command. The mage used the deceleration skill to consume them. The warriors turned around and ran wildly, as if they were being chased by mad dogs, and the priests healed the warriors madly to prevent them from dying. Xinjiang saw the players retreating and knew that they wanted to use the time they had to repair the siege weapons to delay him. He immediately ordered a large force to pursue them, leaving only 1,000 soldiers to protect the tribesmen who were repairing the siege weapons. The retreating players were shocked to see the Kra tribe chasing them. What's going on? How did they catch up to us? Did the command make a mistake? Shit, should we fight or retreat? How about we turn back? At this moment, a message suddenly popped up on the command channel. Players on the ranking list, your time has come now. Kill all the devils with siege weapons and destroy them. Retreating players, turn back and hold them back no matter what. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22. The Last Troop, to attack the main city. Xinjiang, sitting on the silver grey wolf, saw the human race turning back to attack, showing a contemptuous expression, raised the warhammer in his hand, and leaned over to rush towards the enemy, and rushed over like this. However, just halfway through the charge, a horn sounded from the siege camp behind him. What's going on? How could there be an enemy attack horn? The Kra people turned around and saw that hundreds of human beings had already cut into the siege camp of the Kra people. Xinjiang roared angrily. Are you playing me for a fool? The most hateful thing is that it is too late for him to return to defense at this time. Countless light blue ice crystals ricocheted his troops. It was the magic of the human mage troops attacking, and the warriors and assassins had already rushed into his army. Xinjiang looked at such a crazy human race. When did they have such a fearless blood? For the first time, Xinjiang began to take the human army in front of him seriously. At this time, the players on the ranking list were in the siege camp like no one else. Almost all of them were wearing full sets of blue honor equipment. Facing the Kra soldiers who were only at the level of small monsters, they crushed them like a dead tree and rotten wood. In just 5 minutes, they killed half of the enemy's troops. After Xinjiang smashed several players around him into light spots with a hammer, he saw the siege camp behind him. In this situation, there was almost no need to return to defense. He also knew that there was an extraordinary commander in the human race. He couldn't beat him in terms of strategy, so he would compete with strength. He shouted, "All tribes, follow me to charge, and use the blood of the human race to commemorate our dead people. These guys are crazy. Don't they care about the devils behind us? Did we make them angry? What's there to be afraid of? We can still be fooled by a group of monsters. If you didn't say it, I would have forgotten that this is a game. In terms of fearlessness of death, no one in this world can compare with the players, because they really won't die." At this time, the player camp and the player camp were in a real head-on confrontation for the first time. Both armies fought madly without considering the retreat. The players thought that even if they died, they would have enough time to go online by the time they arrived at the main city. The Kra tribe was completely out of hatred for the human race, and they would not stop until they killed the group of ants in front of them. Liangting did not command at this time, because in such a large-scale fight, strategy was actually not very useful. At this point, there was no need to issue orders to affect the players' offensive rhythm and momentum. This battle lasted for several hours from midnight to dawn. Both the player camp and the Kra tribe suffered heavy casualties. The players died and waited for an hour before continuing to fight online. The casualties were undoubtedly more than them. At this time, the combat power ratio was 200,000 Kra tribe to 100,000 players. It took several hours to exchange for 100,000 Kra tribe people. In fact, Liangting was still satisfied with this result. After all, it was not a guerrilla war in the main city. In the wild, the Kra tribe had a natural advantage over the players. As long as it dragged on, the battle would be a victory for the players. I think we won. We fought for a whole night. I can't believe I could watch a group of muscle men fighting for a whole night. In a while, more and more players will come online. Then we can counterattack. Did you see the face of the boss? An expression of doubting life. Ha 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 ha. I fought with a group of people who didn't care about their lives and had countless lives for a whole night. The more I fought, the more people there were, and the less I had. This expression is so real. It made me laugh to death. Xinjiang was really doubting his life at this time. After fighting for so long, and with such losses, the human race's troops should have been wiped out long ago. How could there be so many people? He lost so many troops, but couldn't defeat the opponent. His hand was sore from swinging the warhammer. Looking at the mount under him, it was now covered in blood. The seriously injured mount had carried Xinjiang to fight for a whole night, and now it couldn't hold on any longer and fell down. However, he couldn't retreat. He had to fight, even if he exhausted all his troops. Liang Ting suddenly felt something was wrong. The other boss had been beaten to such an extent that the human race could not finish beating it, but they continued to fight. If I were it, I would definitely retreat and rest. I really couldn't understand why the other side would continue this endless and fruitless fight. No, it was very wrong. I must have missed something. Suddenly, Liang Ting thought of the official data of the Kra tribe mentioned that there were 5 tribe leaders in the Kra tribe. The players defeated 4 of them in the previous 2 battles, and the remaining tribe leader was called. Oh, where did it go? It couldn't have missed a battle. Could it be stealing the home? Liang Ting hurriedly sent a message on the command channel. Players who died and players who are about to go online all choose to revive in the main city. Some of the army will fight and retreat. Go back to defend the main city. Someone is stealing the home. The news from the human race commander once again confused the players who had just seen the dawn of victory. What the hell? They were about to win after fighting for so long, but their home was stolen. Xinjiang stroked his lying mount and looked up at the sky. A pitch black crow flew over and stood on its shoulder, tilting its head to look at Xinjiang, whose face was covered in blood. Players in the human race's main city saw the swarm of crows in the sky at this time. Players in the game also received an official message. A unit of the Kra tribe has attacked the human race's main city. Players, please eliminate them as soon as possible. The comments on the forum instantly flooded the screen. Fuck, the polarity is reversed. Is this possible? Crows are also soldiers? The official is forcibly increasing the difficulty for the players. I think the official wanted to suspend the service for a holiday, so they did this. The above person makes sense. I accidentally revealed the official conspiracy. The players in the main city looked at the crows in the sky with astonishment, and the guards in the main city received orders from the commander and raised their bows and arrows to shoot. A grey crow landed on the wall of the main city. A grey color rose from its feet. The color became bigger and bigger. Finally, the grey crow turned into a woman wearing a grey cloak. The only thing that could be seen between it and the previous crow was that its eyeballs were exactly the same. Hello, ants. Let me introduce myself. My name is. The girl smiled evilly. 50,000 crows swooped down to the main city in an instant. Players who had not yet reacted were suddenly stabbed by several crows. Players who found that they only had half of their health reacted and fought back. However, the speed difference was too great. No matter what damage skills the warriors and assassins used, they could be avoided by the crows. While the magicians and priests were casting targeted skills, they would be attacked by the extremely fast crows. For a time, the players in the main city were miserable. Fuck, the base camp has been hit hard. Come quickly. I was raped by a bunch of birds. Who has insecticide? Bring some when you go online. My next meal will be pigeons. Brother. Crows and pigeons are 2 different creatures. The world channel was flooded with messages. No mistakes. 1 post, 1 content, 1619, 1 book, 1 bar. The army of players outside saw the news in the world channel and immediately got confused. Xinjiang felt proud when he saw the situation of the human army at this time. He had fought all night and still couldn't get the upper hand. Now seeing that the other side was at a loss, he felt much better. Order the army to tie up the human troops and prevent them from returning to defend. As long as they are tied down, the human main city will be captured sooner or later. The reason why Xinjiang was so confident in was that she was the only priest of the Kra tribe, and also Xinjiang's only daughter, and the next chief of the Kra tribe. Among the 5 chiefs, was the strongest, and also the most bizarre. She had a natural affinity for crows, since she was a child. Since she was a child, she was surrounded by a group of crows raised with the blood of wild beasts. They were more damaging and faster than ordinary ones, and the troops under were only crows. Human ants. Your main city is about to be captured by our army. You'd better surrender. Maybe I can leave you with a whole body. Xinjiang shouted at the human race. Bai Bing looked at the situation in the game helplessly. Even Bai felt powerless. There was no situation that could solve the current crisis. If nothing unexpected happened, the 5 flags in various places in the human main city would be destroyed, and then the human race would fail in this battle. Bai Bing, my company was just established and ready to make a big splash, and this happened to me. Hey Bai, I've been asleep for so long, and finally woke up, and this happened to me. In the forum, Planet is about to be shut down indefinitely, and major game companies are overjoyed. Please recommend a similar game to me. I'm looking for a new buyer. I'm really going to lose, and I feel powerless to turn the tide. Want to win? Unless the Buddha blesses me. However, when everyone thought the player would lose, a dramatic scene happened. One of the celebrities on the in-game ranking list, Leonardo Shampoo, was resurrected in the human race's main city. He was the first player on the ranking list to be resurrected in the main city during this period. Looking at the crows in the sky and the particularly conspicuous U on the city wall, he immediately decided to capture the thief first. Relying on the level and equipment advantages, he withstood the attacks of the crows all the way, running and healing himself crazily. He finally ran to the city wall and screamed at you. Looking at the man in front of him who was wearing a blue cassock, holding a staff, and had a shiny bald head, running towards him like a psychopath, he muttered, "Idiot." He turned around and tried to leave, but I used Shampoo's binding skill to tie up my feet. Looking at the vines wrapped around him, I lifted my foot and pulled the vines up by the roots and kicked the idiot running towards me. The dirt brought by the vines got into my eyes, and I closed my eyes for a while. As a result, there was a stone under my feet at this time, and I accidentally stepped on it, and my body immediately lost balance and fell forward. After I got rid of the vines, I planned to jump off the wall to join the massacre. I saw a figure coming from the corner of my eye, and I was pushed off the wall just as I reacted. The two fell heavily to the ground. Leona landed on his back first, almost killing him. Before he could react, Yi fell on his chest. Because of inertia, Yi kissed Leona on the mouth. At this time, the crows in the sky stopped attacking instantly and flew to the sky to surround the main city. The human race found it strange to see the crows stop attacking. They turned to look at the small boss in the direction of the city wall and found that Yi on the city wall was kissing a player mouth to mouth. The two did not move. Bai Bing and Bai were speechless, and the comment area was even more explosive. Fuck, is this possible? Is this considered animal abuse? Shocked, the player actually did such a rebellious thing to the boss in the game. Crows, is the master in a relationship? Can I report the player and the boss for showing off their love? Chapter 23, The Confused Krat Tribe. It took me a while to react. I quickly stood up and pushed Yi away. I had been so confused for so long that I almost forgot that this was a boss. I raised my hand and was about to hit him with my staff, but then I found that Yi's face turned red. At this time, the red name above Yi's head suddenly turned green. According to the game mechanism, red names represent hostility, white names represent neutrality, and green names represent friendliness. As Yi's name changed color, the crows in the sky fell around the main city and turned green. Tens of thousands of players and tens of thousands of crows with green names looked at the two protagonists. When Yi saw that I was raising my staff, as if to hit me, my eyes immediately turned red, and I asked pitifully, "Why did you hit me?" My brain short-circuited a little. "We are enemies." After saying that, Yi found that his name turned green. Yi lowered his head shyly and said, "But you kissed me." I got up hurriedly. "I didn't mean to." "Listen to my excuses." "No, listen to my explanation." "I slipped." Yi insisted. "But you still kissed me." Live comment area. I thought the main city was in trouble, but I didn't expect that I was the one who suffered. The clown turned out to be me. I want to become a monk. The Buddha will not accept you. Will the Buddha really save you? The army of players outside suddenly found that the news of the main city crisis in the corner suddenly turned into the safety of the main city, and then they slowed down their attacks in confusion. Seeing that the players stopped and stood still, the Krat tribe also retreated to a safe distance. Anyway, they were there to stop the human race, and now the human race was not running away, so there was no need for them to fight to the death with these crazy people. Almost all the players saw the world channel that was flooding the screen. and the stories described on it made the players stunned. This is also possible. There are stories to tell, even if you are not dead for 100 years. The two armies looked at each other, and no one knew whether to fight. The Kra tribe wanted to delay time, and the human race also wanted to delay time. Why don't we retreat? I want to see what they look like when they see the main city. I thought so too. Everyone, be serious. We are fighting a battle, and we can't laugh out loud. In the end, everyone unanimously decided to let them go. Anyway, they didn't have many troops. The 50,000 rebels of it was 50,000 rebel crows that directly reduced the Kra tribe's troops to just over 100,000. At this time, Bai suddenly said to Bai Bing, if possible, it is better to establish diplomatic relations with the Kra tribe than to destroy them. Bai Bing, can we still establish diplomatic relations? Bai, of course, we don't have to destroy the creatures of this world to conquer them. There are many ways, and friendly coexistence is one of them. Bai Bing, if you think this is more appropriate, I don't care. As long as the world can develop in a good direction, I support it. Although Bai didn't say anything, he still felt relieved. All players in the game suddenly received a system notification. Planet players, the battle with the Kra tribe has achieved great results so far. In the next confrontation with the Kra tribe, players can choose to continue the racial battle with the Kra tribe, or choose to establish diplomatic relations with the Kra tribe. Players are requested to explore according to the gameplay. When the players saw the official system notification, everyone tacitly knew what to do. The Kra tribe army, which was in a standoff, was surprised to see that the humans on the opposite side had actually laid down their weapons. Some warriors standing in front walked up politely and said, brothers of the Kra tribe, it's a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. Can we all stop fighting? Yes, we don't know each other without fighting. How about we write off the previous grudges? Fighting and killing are not environmentally friendly. How about we all sit down and have a good talk? At first, the Kra tribe was ready to chop down the humans who came up, but then they found that these guys really didn't intend to resist. They didn't even take up weapons, and their attitude was very good. They broke the arms of several humans, but they still smiled at them, and they didn't know what to do. Some of the remaining Kra tribe were at a loss, and some looked at their chiefs and waited for orders. Xinjiang was also surprised by the attitude of this group of humans, but after fighting for such a long time and so much blood having been shed by his people, it was impossible to just let it go, so he directly ordered, kill all the humans who come forward. The Kra people who received the order immediately raised their weapons and attacked the players who came forward to talk. The players in the back were not at all moved by the behavior of the Kra people, and another group of people came forward. This time they had a better attitude than the previous group. They said to the Kra army with a smile on their faces, I understand. You have been wronged. It's all our fault. If you feel so angry, just kill me too. I will never resist. Brothers of the Kra people, we are really sincere. If we lie, we will be struck by lightning. Xinjiang thought that his behavior would anger the humans, but he didn't expect these guys to be so inhumane and not care about the life and death of their companions. He was shocked. Are these humans possessed by unclean things? I have the impression that humans are all emotional animals. The other soldiers of the Kra tribe looked at the tribe leader again. Xinjiang hesitated for a while and gave the same order. The players who came forward heard the order and knew the result. They cooperated very well and did not move. They also said, move faster. I'm afraid that if you don't move well, I will be half dead. No mistakes. Seeing such a cooperative enemy, the soldiers themselves were a little embarrassed to start, but the tribe leader gave the order and they could only do it. Seeing the second group of people die, the players stood up in tacit understanding for the third group. Still the same formula, still the same smile. At this time, the Kra tribe was not very vigilant. They let this group of human race stand beside them and looked back at their tribe leader again. Xinjiang had nothing to say. He didn't take his life seriously. How could he die just like that? What about the honor of being a warrior? Don't the human race warriors have any sense of shame? Then what was the point of fighting with me for so long before? Seeing such a docile enemy, Xinjiang felt embarrassed to raise his butcher knife again. He walked forward with hammer in both hands and said, where is your leader? Liangting walked out of the crowd at this time and said to Xinjiang, I'm the commander this time. Xinjiang, my name is Xinjiang, and I'm the current chief of the Kra tribe. Liangting, that's right, brother. Xinjiang, what the hell? Let me hear what you say. Liangting, just call meeting. Xinjiang, I want to know what you mean. Surrender? No, we won't surrender, even if we die in battle. Then what do you mean now? Not fighting, not resisting, and not surrendering. Liangting explained, we humans just want to make friends with you, the Kra tribe. Xinjiang smiled and said, make friends? Your human main city has been taken by us. Why should we make friends with you? Liangting didn't know how to explain. The players around her were all holding back their laughter, but they couldn't laugh out loud, which was very uncomfortable. If you are talking about you and his 50,000 crows, we have already captured them. Xinjiang was stunned for a while. Impossible. You is the most rational and combat capable priest of our tribe. Don't try to deceive me. Liangting was speechless. It's indeed quite emotional. Let's put it this way, you won't believe it, even if I tell you. How about you follow us back to the main city as a guest, and you will know, when you get to the main city. Xinjiang looked at Liangting thinking. Liangting continued, our human forces are all here. You don't have to be afraid of us ambushing you, and isn't your goal to enter our main city? Now you can achieve your goal without spending a single soldier, isn't it good? Xinjiang, okay, I'll go with you, don't regret it then. All the players were thinking in their hearts, I hope you don't regret it then. Chapter 24 Players with no bottom line. Along the way, the players were like schizophrenia. The priest treated the injured Kra soldiers very diligently. Some of the other players asked about their well-being, some chatted about family matters, and some even helped to carry large equipment. Liangting walked beside Xinjiang without any vigilance. Xinjiang looked at this group of lawless humans, hesitated for a while, and said to Liangting, if you really plan to surrender, I can promise you that I will not kill you. You just need to pay tribute. Liangting rolled her eyes. What do you want us to pay tribute? Xinjiang, your herbs, food, salt, clothes, etc. Liangting, we really don't plan to surrender, and we really want to make friends with you. What do you need to believe it? Xinjiang glanced at Liangting. If it were you, you were fighting with us in the last second, and you wanted to be a friendly neighbor with me in the next second, would you agree? Liangting answered without hesitation, yes. Xinjiang finally realized that this group of humans were crazy, and then he ignored them again. Anyway, as long as these guys didn't treat him differently, everything would be fine. When he arrived at the human main city, in the human main city, Yi followed me all the time. No matter where I went, she followed closely behind me. There were a few times when she sneaked away when Yi was not paying attention. Yi just asked a crow nearby. The crow flew up to the sky, looked around, and then came down to tell Yi the direction. Yi could easily find me, no matter how I hid. The old monk who had lost all hope in life looked at Yi who followed him, and a group of players who were watching the fun around him, and said to Yi fiercely, I tell you, you and I are enemies. Your father is coming to our main city now, then we will fight to the death. The players who were watching the fun around him interrupted immediately. No, when your father comes, we will persuade him to help you. You will definitely have a bright future. Be brave to pursue love. We will all help you. The old monk almost vomited blood and was furious at the players around him. Give me some face. I'm a high player on the level list. Surrounding players, give you face. You are the son-in-law of the Kra tribe. I must give you face. Yes, you are the diplomatic ambassador of our two tribes. I must give you face. Yes, you are the representative of our human race going to the world. You will be written into the textbooks by the government. Damn it. Hearing the voices around him, you smiled and said to me, look, your people are blessing us, and I will persuade your father to stop the war when the time comes. Believe me. The eyes of the surrounding players lit up when they heard you's words. Yes, we will definitely support you. Little you, if you need any help, tell us. We will help you. You must persuade your father that fighting and killing are not desirable, and our two tribes must love each other. I saw that these bastards had been assisting all the time, and I knew that the hard way would not work. So I had to use the soft way. Little girl, I tell you, you are still young. You should not be an adult. I'm much older than you. You looked at his beloved with a meek face and smiled. I don't mind. In our tribe, as long as we form a partner, age doesn't matter. Actually, I have become a monk, and I don't care about women. But your people just told me secretly that you have returned to secular life. I have someone I like. Your tribesmen just told me that you don't have anyone you like, and they also said that you haven't even held a girl's hand since they met you. Damn, there's really no way out. This game has only been open for a week, and we have only known each other for a short time. Seeing that the conversation could not continue, I wanted to log off and hide. The players guessed his thoughts. Some people silently picked up stones from the ground and looked at me with threats and encouragement. If he dared to log off, they would throw stones at him. This is the offline mechanism of the game. In addition to the 1-hour protection time for being online, there is also a 10-second countdown time for being offline. The reason is that no matter going online, resurrecting, or going offline, it takes a certain amount of time to consolidate the player's soul. Sudden online and offline will cause damage to the player's soul. Players take advantage of this mechanism. As long as I stand still and don't speak for more than a few seconds, the players will throw stones at me to cause damage, so that the offline reading bar can be interrupted. Seeing the helplessness of his beloved, Xinjiang asked aggrievedly, "Are you tired of me? Do you dislike me?" I looked at the encouraging faces of the players around me, smiled with tears in my eyes and said, "No." As time passed, more and more players came online, found the battle reminder in the corner of the screen, and hurriedly joined the battle to prepare for action. The players next to him hurriedly pulled him to start the storytelling mode, one after another, and frightened the group of newly online players into thinking that they had not woken up. Is this okay? I know this game has a high degree of freedom, but I didn't expect it to be so high. Why wasn't that person me? Didn't you see that little Xinjiang is really cute? Yeah, it's just that my vision is not very good. The armies of the human race and the Kra tribe arrived outside the main city of the human race. At first, Xinjiang was worried that there was an ambush on the city wall, but later he found that these guys were still welcoming him on the city wall, and several city gates were wide open, with no signs of resistance. I rushed out of the city gate and came to Liangting. Before he could say anything, Liangting patted me on the shoulder and said admiringly, "Well done." The army of players said, "Good job, brother. A role model for our generation. I'll give you the first credit. No mistake. 1 post, 1 content, 1619, 1 book, 1 bar." Xinjiang looked at Li, who was following behind him, and smiled with satisfaction. "Jenna, well done. You took down the human race's main city in such a short time. You are worthy of being my daughter." Yi was embarrassed. "Father, I didn't capture the human race's main city, but I met someone I like. It's him." Then he pointed at me and used shampoo. All the players looked at the two with an auntie smile. Xinjiang was confused. "What the hell? You like a human?" Yi looked at Xinjiang seriously. "Father, as long as you meet someone you like, and the other party is willing, even the clan leader can't object. This is the clan rule set by the first clan leader and the priest. Do you want to violate it?" Xinjiang was speechless. Liangting hurriedly stepped forward and held Yi's hand. "Little Jenna, as the commander of the human race this time, I agree to this marriage." Yi answered a little embarrassedly, "But the person I like doesn't seem to like me." Liangting turned around and looked at me kindly. "Oh, really?" After hearing this, all the players looked at me threateningly. The meaning they wanted to express was self-evident. As long as I answered wrong, I would definitely suffer a heavy punishment. Unlike the players, among all the threatening eyes, only Xinjiang showed a happy expression, looking at me with expectation. As long as he said he didn't want to, he, as a father, could oppose this marriage without violating the clan rules. In the end, I gave a happy answer. "Yes, I do. Really, I do." Liangting didn't give Xinjiang any chance. After getting the reply, she dragged him into the city and said as she walked, "Come on, in-laws, let's talk about this marriage and the establishment of diplomatic relations between our two clans." Bai Bing was speechless about this result, although the result was good. "Hey Bai, this group of players is quite interesting. It can be said that they have no bottom line at all. Bai Bing rolled his eyes. Is this considered a successful establishment of diplomatic relations? Hey Bai, not yet. Didn't the color of the name of the crab people start to turn neutral? The prerequisite for establishing diplomatic relations is that the camps are friendly. Neither neutral nor hostile is allowed. That's a bit difficult. After all, they suffered so many casualties. Bai chuckled. It's not difficult actually, but if we want to establish diplomatic relations smoothly, we may need you at that time. Bai Bing's face. Chapter 25 Establishing Diplomatic Relations and Game Changes. In the meeting room of the human race's main city, Xinjiang slammed the table, stood up and said excitedly, "Impossible, we have so many casualties. I will not agree to establish diplomatic relations with you humans." Liang Ting's attitude was very friendly. "Don't get excited, there's no need to get angry." Xinjiang sat down angrily and saw that the meeting room was full of humans watching the excitement. Some even climbed onto the roof to eavesdrop, thinking that he didn't know. He said to Liang Ting speechlessly, "Human leader, do you humans usually behave like this?" Liang Ting smiled awkwardly. "They are looking forward to our establishment of diplomatic relations." After that, she immediately said on the command channel, "All of you get out of here. I'm going to start a live broadcast. You can go into the live broadcast room and watch it yourself." Xinjiang's attitude was firm. In short, establishing diplomatic relations is absolutely impossible. Don't be wishful thinking. Liang Ting advised kindly, "There is no need, Chief Xinjiang. Your daughter will marry into our family in the future. You don't want your daughter to see that our two tribes are not harmonious and fighting frequently." Xinjiang snorted, "I can defeat you and then capture this pretty boy back to the tribe." The old monk standing behind him suddenly had a bitter face, and he also looked at his father with an unhappy face. Liang Ting saw that she was not soft at all, so she continued, "But Chief Xinjiang, have you ever thought that the current strength of your tribe is less than 100,000, and you may not be able to defeat us?" Xinjiang was about to refute, but when he thought about it, it seemed to be the fact. No matter how this group of human races fight, there are still so many people, which is completely unreasonable. If he really wants to fight, with the current combat power of less than 100,000, he may not be able to win. After hesitating for a while, Xinjiang still asked, "Can you tell me why there are so many people in such a fight? Are you sure you want to know?" At this time, a voice appeared in the conference room. Countless light points condensed from all directions into a human-sized light ball. This person was Bai Bing. Xinjiang looked at Bai Bing with horror and hurriedly knelt down to worship Bai Bing. He also hurriedly knelt down and followed his father to worship. Liang Ting and the other players were stunned for a while. What was this white transparent man? How could he appear in our main city, and how could he glow? "No need to worship, get up," Bai Bing said. Xinjiang immediately knelt down obediently and said tremblingly, "God, please forgive me. I didn't know there was a god in the human city. If I knew you were there, I would never dare to offend you." Countless players instantly had an idea. This is the guardian beast of our human race. It must be. Liang Ting seized the opportunity and said, "Lord God is not a stingy person. Let's talk about establishing diplomatic relations between our two tribes. After all, it's not good for Lord God to rest here and disturb him. Let's discuss and come to a conclusion as soon as possible." Xinjiang hurriedly replied, yes, I agree to establish diplomatic relations." After that, the color on his name instantly turned green. Bai Bing, good. Then he turned into countless light spots and disappeared. Awesome. How come I didn't know that there were divine beasts in our main city? It seems that the dog official is still a little humane and didn't trick us to death. There's no need to fight a fart battle in the future. When the enemy comes, we can just release the divine beasts. Bai Bing looked at the unscrupulous players in front of him and was really afraid that they would go on strike passively. He had to find a way to issue a notice to warn them. He knew the nature of these guys very well. In the end, Bai Bing decided to sleep first. After all, he was very tired after not sleeping for a night. At this time, Bai suddenly said, "After this battle, you have to decide the direction of your job change." "Very good, I can't sleep again. Let's order to Kiert." Zhao Mu is a global travel enthusiast and a loyal fan of the game Planet. When he played this game for the first time, he was attracted by such grand CG animations and nearly realistic game pictures. As he played, he found that the game had a very high degree of freedom. For a person who yearns for freedom, Planet is the travel he longs for in his mind, so he loves this game more than most players. When Zhao Mu was a child, he was a handsome boy with long hair, so he was often chased and blocked by girls. Some strong girls would use pranks to attract Zhao Mu's attention. Pulling Zhao Mu's hair was one of the ways. Over time, Zhao Mu was also traumatized, so he shaved his head in a fit of anger. Until now, Zhao Mu has kept a bald head. When registering for the game, Zhao Mu's image naturally retained this feature. Because of the bald image, Zhao Mu simply took a unique game name, Monk Uses Shampoo. Maybe because of his handsome appearance, he was often harassed by girls. He could do whatever he wanted in the game. He was immersed in the game almost every day, and was free and unrestrained. But today, he never thought that the game would give him such a thing. Seeing such a real NPC, Zhao Mu decisively found a corner where no one was, secretly logged off, and planned not to go online for a while. What passion was not important. Anyway, he was already level 20, and his equipment was all on a blue equipment. He went to the official forum of the game to take a look, and suddenly saw an announcement on the official website. The content on it made Zhao Mu, who had originally made up his mind to hide, not calm down. No mistake in one song, one post, one content, 1619, one book, one bar. Take a look. Game announcement. Planet players, this battle between the human race and the Kra tribe finally ended in the form of an alliance. All players will be awarded the title of Kara tribe ally, which can be used for trade within the Kra tribe camp. Trade between the human race and the Kra tribe is settled in soul points. Due to the alliance with the Kra tribe, the map of the Kra tribe camp range is opened. This camp map has added many unknown monsters. Please explore the difficulty of the monsters by yourself. Due to the alliance with the Kra tribe, a new resurrection point for the Kra tribe camp is added. Due to the alliance with the Kra tribe, players can accept tasks within the Kra tribe camp. New props. Return to city scroll. Players can use the return scroll to freely travel between the human race main city and the Kra tribe. In the future, every time players form an alliance or defeat a region, the return scroll will increase the return area accordingly. The return scroll can be purchased from grocery merchants in the two regions. New mounts. A new mount, Wolf Warg, has been added. Players can go to the Kra tribe camp to buy adult Wolf Warg or catch underage Wolf Warg in the wild. Adult Wolf Warg can be ridden directly, and underage mounts need to be trained for a certain period of time before they can be ridden. Wolf Warg needs to be fed raw meat. New gamma play. A new building crafting guild has been added. Players can go to the guild to pay soul points to craft weapons with blueprints. After obtaining equipment blueprints, a new NPC blacksmith has been added. Players can go to the guild to find this NPC to learn crafting skills. New gamma play. A new building herb guild has been added. Players can go to the guild to pay soul points to buy secret medicines and alchemy materials. A new NPC pharmacist has been added. Players can go to the guild to find this NPC to learn alchemy and gathering skills. New gamma play. A new building soul hall has been added. After players reach level 20, they can go to the soul hall to find corresponding mentors to accept tasks and complete full-time tasks. Multiple full-time occupations have been added in the hall. Players are requested to choose by themselves. Note that the selection cannot be changed. Game background and main quests changed. The human race's main city houses an ancient human god, but only a trace of the god's soul remains, so the god falls into a deep sleep and cannot wake up. Once the main city is in danger, the god will completely dissipate. Players have established diplomatic relations with the Kra tribe in the north, but there are unknown risks in the east, south, and west. Players are requested to explore the remaining 3 directions according to the gamma play. Black and White Game Development Team. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.